He saved the shutout. His slider. And a shot up the right side. It's
baseball on MSG Network. From Yankee Stadium, the New York Yankees meet the Boston Red Sox. Pitching for Boston, Danny Darwin, and on the mound for the Yankees, right-hander Dave Eiland. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to an afternoon of Yankee baseball. They're back home off a very successful road trip, and this afternoon open the homestand against Boston. I'm Dwayne Statz. It's nice to have you with us. Now, the Yankees have won 4 in a row, while the Red Sox have dropped 3 of their last 4, and a big part of the Yankee success on the road was the pitching. They've been looking for improved starting pitching all year, and they got it on the road trip. An earned run average of 2.12, and the relievers even better at 1.80. A few moments ago, Al Trotwood caught up with Mark Connor, Yankee pitching coach, and played a little word association game about the Yankee pitching staff.
Mike Witt.
Mike Witt is in the stretch run of his rehabilitation down in Tampa, Florida. We expect to see Mike here within a week or 10 days and join our rotation. And his rehab is going real well right now. We got our fingers crossed, and he can be a great addition to our pitching staff.
Pasquale after 3 starts.
Pasquale has been outstanding for us. 2 shutout appearances in his first 2 starts, and pitched a good ball game. Kept us in the ball game the other day. Made 1 mistake, but we came back and won the ball game. We're real pleased with him.
1 run in 6 innings for Chuck Carey yesterday.
Chuck Carey is making progress. You know, we've done a couple things differently with him, and he felt real good about his appearance yesterday, and so did we.
Dave Eiland today.
Dave Eiland going against the Boston Red Sox today. We're looking for a good ball game out of David. Keep the ball on the ground and let our infielders do the work for him.
I'm joined by my partner, Tony Kubek. Tony, from time to time, the Yankees have looked for more offense, but throughout the entire season, they've looked for some stability in the starting rotation. That might be the key to making this a club that approaches respectability in the East.
That's where it starts out. If you ain't got pitching, as Sparky Anderson said, you ain't got nothing. And I think what is happening, a couple of things. Mark Connor obviously is learning his pitchers, not just the mechanics of it, but who can handle what situation. He's relaying that information to Stump Merrill. The other thing is there's a terrific competition for jobs starting right here. Dave Eiland today, I would think, a very important start after struggling a little bit, hurting his heel 2 starts ago, pitching decent the last time out. Mike Witt due to come off the DL on June 6th. He's going to throw 85 to 90 pitches, I believe, today in extended spring training. When he's ready, somebody's going to have to go if they can't make a deal. So there's a good competition going here, and the pitching was excellent on the road.
And this afternoon, the Yankee pitching staff will have a challenge. The Boston Red Sox lineup is in town, and we'll be back with all the action following this.
Here's to you, America, for being strong, for coming through. We send our best to you. Nothing beats our best Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud. And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beers. Nothing beats a Bud.
94 ways to love your baby. 16.
Make a fuss over your baby.
42.
Take your baby out for a night on the town.
94.
Fill it up. Ultra 94.
When your car's your baby, it deserves a gasoline as special as Sunoco Ultra 94. Because only Ultra gives you the highest octane under the sun with great detergency.
61.
Take your baby home to meet your mama.
94. Ultra 94.
Fact. Ford Explorer is the only vehicle ever named Four-Wheeler Magazine's 4x4 of the Year, 2 years running. Fact. Ford Explorer is the only sport utility vehicle with one-touch shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive. Fact. Now your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer can save you $1,300 on options like air conditioning, AM/FM cassette, and more. Call it leadership. Call it winning. Call it anything you want, but see your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer and see for yourself.
You put your card in that machine, who knows? You may never see it again.
Yeah, well, see, I don't have that trouble with my bank.
So let's see, Lucky, what do we do first? Make a deposit? Pay our Visa bill?
You know what I like? The show. It's the little things that are important. It makes me feel like a human being.
We know even little things can make a big difference. That's not just banking, that's city banking.
Back at Yankee Stadium as the Yankees and the Red Sox prepare to open their 3-game series. A long homestand in store here for the Yankees, and we have a beautiful Memorial Day and a great crowd here at Yankee Stadium for the first game of this series. Dave Eiland and Danny Darwin will open it. And the fans are on their feet for the presentation of the colors by the Lincoln High School ROTC color guard from Yonkers, New York. And before the national anthem, we will have a few moments of silent prayer in memory of all the men and women who have given their lives to preserve freedom.
So gallantly.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and the home of the
brave. New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers with that distinctively clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. For everything in home electronics, music, and movies, nobody beats the Wiz. And by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Warm afternoon, the temperature 84 degrees. Slight breeze in the ballpark, about 10 miles per hour. Humidity stands at 59%. Under partly sunny and hazy skies in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. Dave Eiland goes to the mound for the 9th time, 1-3, with an earned run average of .434, and it's been a long time since he won a ball game.
And in his words yesterday, he felt over his last few starts, especially, as he said, I was getting slider happy. Throwing too many, hitters were able to catch up with it. That he's going to have to throw sinker more, change up, and maybe that overhand curve a little more frequently.
His last win came on the 23rd of April when he beat Detroit 5-0, working 7 innings in that one. He'll face this lineup for the Red Sox. Ellis Burks red hot in center, followed by Carlos Quintana. Wade Boggs, the number 3 hitter. The DH is Jack Clark, Mike Greenwell in left, Tom Bruninski in right, Tony Pena will do the catching. That's Jody Reed at second, and Luis Rivera, the shortstop, hitting 9th. The defensive arrangement for the Yankees this afternoon.
And Dwayne, the Red Sox have 7 of their 9 hitters hitting from the right side. And we may once again, with Eiland, a sinker baller on the mound, get a chance to see Pat Kelly put on a show at third base. like yesterday with the screwball and the curveball and slider to right-handers against the Orioles from Carey, there may be a lot of balls hitting his area.
And what a wonderful start it was for Kelly yesterday at third base, switching from second, playing third base for the first time as a pro. First time, of course, in the major leagues, and he handled the position extremely well.
Is it refreshing? Who very simply, Pat Kelly says, I'm just happy to be here. Whatever they want me to do, I will do. Joe Morgan, who they say is handling that bullpen better. He is waiting for his team to start hitting. And of course, he also wants Roger Clemens back on the beam. He's gotten beaten around the last couple of outings.
Now Morgan, in his 4th year as the manager of the Red Sox, he has this club in first place by a half game, even though they have run into some problems as of late. And Ellis Burks got off to a slow start, but the average closing in on the 300 mark with this 15-game hitting streak as of late.
Very quietly becoming one of the best all-around players in the American League.
Won a Gold Glove last year. And here he is to lead off for Boston.
Red Sox will take a lot of pitches. They are a fairly disciplined team, and they make you throw strikes ordinarily.
The game underway, and Eiland misses too close. Ball 1. Burks, just 26 years old. That's going to be out of play. Interesting to watch him because he's a fellow who gives a lot of credit to Walt Reniak. He is not necessarily that one hand on the bat approach, but still he's been influenced by Reniak, and it goes back to what we talked about when the Yankees and the White Sox were playing, and we got a chance to see Reniak. Not everyone he affects hits the way we see. This one a fly ball to short right. Barfield will handle that, and Burks is out of there. And Burks a good example of that.
Well, Walter Reniak's theories, as where Charlie Lyle's, can be understood. There are some things that a lot of the traditionalists do not like, and rightfully so, but Walter just doesn't take a guy and make everybody pattern themselves after his theory. That's really a fallacy.
Here's Quintana. He very quietly is hitting .333.
I remember in spring training he wasn't going to have a job. It was going to be Big Mo Vaughn. They've got some hitters in the minors. Phil Plantier, another left-handed hitting slugger.
He's wondering when he's going to get a chance to play. This one inside, ball 1. Richie Hebner likes Quintana. Hebner, the hitting coach for the Red Sox. He says he's from Venezuela. He speaks a little English. Really doesn't want to speak a lot of English. He just comes to the park and hits .330.
Hits the ball hard to right center field also, which you can see how he closes that front side. And especially against a breaking ball pitcher, sinker baller, you don't want to try and pull it if you can avoid it. So he's setting up, trying to go the opposite way, and that's the way the Yankee outfield is playing him.
Eiland behind him, 2-0. That's a foul ball. 2-1. Wade Boggs will be next. We have just started. Burks out on a fly ball to right. There's Boggs.
Looks like the old Wade Boggs now, too, the way they're saying he's swinging the bat like he did a couple of years ago.
This one inside. Well, he's had a couple off years.
Yeah, 302
last year,
330 the year before.
330 the year before.
He's dropped down to 5th all time in batting averages in Major League Baseball history.
3-1 the count. We'll go full with Quintana.
Eiland says that the heel that he damaged covering first base a couple of starts ago, still not completely healed. Not bad enough to affect him at this point.
Eiland, 24 years old, worked 5 innings his last time out at Cleveland. And just a piece of that one foul.
And you can hear in the background what a 4-game winning streak will do in Yankee Stadium as the Yankee fans just waiting in the woodwork to come out for some success, which the Yankees have shown them over the last 4 ball games especially. Very enthusiastic.
3-2 on Quintana.
You could probably throw a few Red Sox fans down from the Boston area and
that's right.
Connecticut.
He got it. Strike, great call. Eiland picks up his first strikeout. Quintana caught looking for the second out.
So we get a chance with Matthew Noakes set up on the outside corner, and there it was, right near the black. He had thrown some pitches inside to Quintana that he chopped foul, trying to get the bat head out in front, and then the pitching pattern by Noakes and Eiland was reversed, and they went away using the outer edge of the plate.
Here's Wade Boggs. And he takes the first pitch, and it's a strike. Boggs hitting .338.
Wade
Two outs,
Boggs
bases empty.
Wade went home in the offseason and studied a lot of tapes from years back when he was leading the league and did not feel there was anything mechanically wrong with his swing.
Chops this one to first. It's a fair ball, and Mattingly makes the pickup and makes the play unassisted. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox in the first. So we'll go into the Yankee half of the inning. Boston, nothing. And the Yankees are coming in to hit.
It's a tradition as old as the land itself. Your country calls, and you come. Your country asks you to give, and you give. And you do it all because you believe in your country. So to all the men and women who serve, Budweiser is proud to return your salute.
When you want a moment to last, shop at Nobody Beats the Whiz for a videotape that will. Superior picture, superior sound, superior price. Maxell, more than just a pretty picture. On sale at Nobody Beats the Whiz.
For better bat control, there's only one glove crafted with Petard's digital Cabretta leather. Franklin, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball.
Danny Darwin will do the pitching for the Boston Red Sox against the Yankees this afternoon. Darwin making his 5th appearance just recently off the disabled list. This is his first start on the road. Came off the DL on the 22nd and pitched against the Brewers. Put together 5 innings of shutout baseball and won that game. He'll face Roberto Kelly leading off, followed by Steve Sachs and Don Mattingly. Kevin Moss the DH. Mel Hall hot in May in left. Noakes to do the catching. Barfield in right. Espinoza starts shortstop, and Pat Kelly at third hitting ninth. The Red Sox defense.
Not a sensational defense, but they are very steady, and the arm of Bruninski in right field helps this ball club a lot. Pena is such a big difference to this pitching staff. You talk to pitching coach Billy Fisher, and he talks about the enthusiasm and the charge attitude of Pena and how he sometimes can get on pitchers and keep them going when they don't have their good stuff.
He just does not allow you to wonder much to get away from the game. Here's Roberto Kelly. Then he takes the pitch outside, ball 1.
Remember when Tony Pena was at Pittsburgh and that club, all their problems, losing 100 games a year, and the pitching staff wasn't any good. They were blaming Tony Pena.
2-0. Well, he had a stop in St. Louis and then over to Boston, and has been behind the plate almost every day for the Red Sox. Into short right center, Bruninski waits for this one. One gone.
Darwin last season led the National League in ERA. In fact, he qualified by just 1 full inning. Pitched 162 2/3. Out of the bullpen and starting. He had that problem with pneumonia in spring training. Some think that it settled in his right shoulder and caused him problems. Throws sneaky, good slider, throws a fork ball and a palm ball. He used to be devastating to right-handed hitters, and left-handers would give him trouble.
Here's Steve Sachs.
Here's the bat they need to get going. Dwayne.
He's down to 235. Takes ball 1.
To be any continuity in the offense, it's going to have to be Sachs helping out Kelly to set the inning up for Mattingly, Moss, and Hall.
He looks at a strike, and it's a ball and a strike. Darwin, 35 years old. He's part of the big investment in the free agent market made by the Red Sox. Another one for Bruninski, almost in the same spot.
And you lose Boddicker, who was such a key, especially down the stretch last year. So Darwin and Matt Young added.
And here's Don Mattingly with the bases empty and 2 gone. Mattingly had a good road trip at 346 and has been up around that 315, 316 mark for the last couple of weeks.
We noticed down the road in Cleveland and Baltimore, they pitched him a little differently than the Western Division ball clubs. That's the way the West pitched him most of this season. Tried to keep the fastball away, don't let Don pull it. But we saw more changeups and breaking balls and inside pitches in Cleveland and in Baltimore. But this is a different ballpark in that short park.
Yep.
You're not going to come inside unless it's inside off the plate.
2-0 the count. Darwin away from him on the first 2 pitches. And a shot to right field. Bruninski back. He'll have to play the carom. He got a good bounce. And here's the throw. Mattingly is safe at second base. Mattingly got in head first and has hurt himself going in.
Hand into the base.
Yep.
Yeah, he jammed his hand when he, in fact, he was running so hard, and I was surprised he tried it, but it was instinctive with a little hamstring problem. And it appeared that little finger.
Yep. And Gene Monahan will take a look. Does it look as if he may have dislocated that little finger?
It looked a little out of shape just off
did.
that monitor. Like it was not quite in it. And Monahan now massaging it.
That one little glimpse we had of the little finger did not look too good.
Appeared to be on the right hand. That's what Gene Monahan is looking at, and it's the hand on the bat that Don Mattingly pulls through the ball, allow him to pull the ball.
Well, he's got him up and he's making a fist.
2 ball, no strike, and Darwin does get a ball up and middle of the plate end. Mattingly knows of the arm of Bruninski. He also knows with 2 outs he's going to take a chance, even though he's had a slight hamstring strain. Right here, the little bit extra, and watch the hand. Ow. He hit so hard that the hands just were pushed back beneath his body, and I don't know if he hit the base with that or if he did something beneath his body. Just twisted it back, his right hand.
Rough landing.
Yeah.
One more look. He got the right hand out to the bag. So a double for Mattingly, and he stays in there.
They don't need that, especially the way he started to swing the bat recently.
So the Yankees have a scoring opportunity with 2 outs in the first.
Can you believe the way Mattingly plays this game? The more you see of him,
he's amazing to watch.
It really is. I mean, he's the guy that talked a couple of weeks ago out of frustration that things should be done. Mentioned George Steinbrenner, something to be done, and now the team starts playing well. Over the last 6 games, to play with that kind of enthusiasm and vigor is really fun to watch.
That's his 6th double of the year, and here's Moss with a chance to drive him home. Kevin takes ball 1. Moss hitting .275. Yankees home for 12 games. The Red Sox, Brewers, Blue Jays, and the red-hot Texas Rangers will be the 4th team out on this homestand. Moss takes it down.
And they found that guy to protect Kevin Moss. Mel Hall tied for the team lead in RBIs. It's a little more difficult to pitch around Kevin. There's Mel, who got a big home run yesterday.
He's been hot in May after a slow April, looking for playing time in April. Mel's hit .322 in May. That's a strike, 2-1. Al Clark is calling the balls and strikes.
Billy Fisher, the pitching coach, talking before the ball game when people gather around, talking about how he feels there's going to be a record set in both leagues this year. Bases on balls. He said the umpires just aren't calling people out this year. As a pitching coach talking, when you talk to the hitter, you get a different story. Ooh.
Ball 3. Darwin thought he had a strike. 3-1.
Pena talking out of the side of his mask to home plate umpire Al Clark.
Darwin, excellent control. Kelly and Sachs went out ahead of the double by Mattingly. The 3-1. Broken bat, bouncer to second. Reed takes care of this to Quintana. As the bat disintegrated, Maryland went out just to the right of the Red Sox first baseman. No runs, 1 hit. A man left at the end of an inning, no score.
As Mills will be waved home by Showalter. It's a 3-3 game.
Potemkin Mitsubishi makes it easy with huge selections of Eclipses, Gallants, and Motor Trend's Car of the Year, the 3000 GT. Makes it easy with a service and parts department that's open on Saturdays. Makes it easy with Japan's Car of the Year coming soon, the all-new 1992 Mitsubishi Diamante. Makes it easy with low-cost leasing, giant discounts, and easy financing. Potemkin Mitsubishi makes it easy.
Greetings from the future.
Where did you come from?
Same place as your Tempstar air conditioning system. I'm here for a courtesy call.
It's from the future?
How do you think it got to be so reliable? See, it's operating perfectly.
Will I ever see you again?
Not until I install a Tempstar system when you have your own home.
How many among you have allowed unskilled mechanics to change thy oil, to lay unworthy hands upon thy suffering brakes? But there is salvation. There is a one-stop car care center that can heal all your automotive ills. And it goes by the name Precision Tune.
Save $40 on a tune-up and oil change combo only at Precision Tune.
Mattingly, after running the bases in the bottom of the first inning, went to the dugout where Steve Donahue and Gene Monahan were taping that little finger.
Many times they'll do it like a basketball injury and try and tape the little finger next to the one that acts as a splint, but Don wouldn't be able to get that hand in the glove properly if they did that. They're just taking a little tongue depressor, broken it off, and use that as a splint.
So Mattingly heads to first. In his absence, Alvaro Espinosa had slipped over from shortstop to throw the infield ground balls. And Jack Clark will open the second inning. Clark, Greenwell, and then Bruninski. Clark hitting .223, 4 homers, 15 runs batted in, the DH. And he takes a strike. Lots of strikeouts, lots of walks, and the Red Sox hope lots of run production.
He stands way off the plate. And his first trip through the American League, where he saw more breaking balls, off-speed pitches, he moved a little closer. He's right back deep in the box again. You talk about bat speed. This guy has bat speed.
He's behind in the count 0-2.
We were talking to Andy Van Slyke when he and Clark were teammates on the Cardinals, and Van Slyke talked about in batting practice, the only guy he could hear the bat whistling through the strike zone was Jack Clark. That's how much bat speed he generates. Very unique rear foot. He changes the position almost as the pitch is on the way.
Eiland missed off the plate end. A ball and 2 strikes. Lately, Clark 4 of his last 24. This one wide. 2-2. Eiland got through the first. 1-2-3. He's been stingy in the first inning. And the Red Sox have not been much of a first inning club in terms of runs scored. Only 10 this year. That's the fewest of any team in the major leagues. Clark started to wade into that pitch and then put on the brakes. Full count, 3-2.
And all you got to do is see that one pitch to understand why he can stand so far away from the plate and still reach that outside pitch because he dives in this fashion. Well, he fits into this Red Sox line with Boggs, Greenwell, when Evans was here. They all run the count deep.
3-2 and a shot back of third, foul. Eiland making this start had given up just over a hit per innings pitched, 38 hits in 37 and a third innings, walked 14 and struck out 10. Down to third, Kelly has it bounce away from him, and the throw is not going to be in time. Kelly back on the ball. Once it bounced to his right and in the foul territory, he had very little chance of getting Clark.
So one thing you cannot do at third that you can do in the middle of the diamond, and that is play the hop you want in most cases. Here's an instance. Just one stride to his right. Has time for only one thing to get in front of it, but not go backward or forward, especially forward where he can get the big hop instead of the in-between hop.
So Kelly charged with an error on the ball hit by Clark.
That's where they call it a reaction position as opposed to any other position on the field. Probably have to have the quickest reactions with your glove hand down at third.
Clark's aboard, and here's Greenwell. Greenwell hitting .292. Outside. He's had a sore left hamstring.
He sat out yesterday, as did Boggs, who had a little leg problem. They don't want to miss the short porch in Yankee Stadium, though, do they?
Nope. One and one on the foul ball.
Great call by Noakes. Greenwell trying to get the bat head out to shoot it to the right side with Mattingly holding Clark, and they pull the string and he gets him right off the end of the bat. More and more, the pitchers are beginning to respect Matthew Noakes' work ethic and his improvement in the catching department.
1-1. In the right center field. Kelly cuts it off. Clark's on his way to third. Now a bobble out there. And down to second base goes Greenwell. Second and third with nobody out.
Could be another error. See how the official score rules it. 1-1. It looked like a sinker ball that just stayed right in the middle of the plate.
Here's the bobble. That gave Greenwell the opportunity to move up.
It looked like Roberto was going to start his little pirouette counterclockwise to make the throw to second base, and started turning to his left to make the throw before the ball got to him.
So a single and an error. The first error of the year charged to Roberto Kelly. And with nobody out, Tom Bruninski becomes the hitter with 2 men in scoring position.
This is a pretty productive sixth-place hitter right here.
Boy,
He has always hit
the
six.
top 10 and runs batted in. Takes the ball. 31 runs batted in right now. And a good part of those the last 3 weeks.
Man who understands how to hit with men in scoring position.
And foul. The count is 1-1. One area the Red Sox have had some problems with a man at third is getting that sacrifice fly. They haven't produced many.
They don't have a whole lot of speed on this team. Dick Bernardino, the third base coach, who was a member of the Yankee organization at one time in the minor leagues. Eiland trying to prevent the big inning.
There's a fly ball deep to right. Barfield back. He'll make the catch. And Clark tags to score. Greenwell goes to third, and the Red Sox are on the board first. 32nd run batted in of the year for Tom Bruninski.
You had a good view on that pitch from Eiland when the players on the field talk about slider speed bats. Bruninski sitting on something away. He got a little slider, maybe not down enough, and he was going all the way. And then slider sometimes quickens the bat just a little bit. He did not try to pull it. Went with it nicely. Now the infield will come in.
Tony Pena is going to be the hitter. So the errors have cost the Yankees a run. Clark scores. Pena now hitting .257. going to be out of play. Strike one.
Pena was in 141 ball games last year, most of them catching. He's already in the National League, caught 151 games.
And his average has come up the last 2 weeks. He's at 340. He drives it into right center, slicing away from Kelly. It gets by him and it'll go all the way to the wall. Greenwell scores to make it 2-0. Pena around second, heading for third, and the throw skips by and is backed up by Eiland. The throw to the home plate side of the bag at third. And Pena triples home a run. That's his first triple.
You just saw one of the reasons why Whitey Herzog loved Pena and went out and made the trade for him. A catcher who had running speed, who he could bat in the A spot. And you know, if your pitcher sacrificed him over, that he had a chance to make it to second base and not get thrown out. So many times you like to bat the catcher eighth if he can run a little bit. Usually they can't. Mark Connor out now. Roberto Cali looked like he was going to get it, and then the ball kept slicing away.
Mark Connor observing his 42nd birthday today.
I don't think anybody has to tell Eiland, and I'm sure it was not verbalized. Now Roberto get a different pair of sunglasses. Don't know if when he hit the ground something happened to him, so Steve Donahue gets a little airtime. I don't think anybody had to tell Eiland that he is one of the pitchers who does have options left. With so many guaranteed contracts, a guy like this gets caught in a numbers game.
Yeah, he does. As much as the Yankees would like to keep him because of his age, they would love to have Eiland here. He's young and give him every opportunity. The infield all the way in now with Jody Reed up there. And Reed looks at a strike. Reed hitting .214, had 4 hits yesterday against the Tigers.
Berardino had Jody Reed step out and take a long look. If nothing else, it could be a decoy to maybe get a pitch out on this in case they suspect squeeze.
He pops this one back into left, over Hall's head and off the bottom of the wall. Pena scores. Reed on his way to second with the double. And the Red Sox make it a 3-run inning.
Rather than the ball hit softly up off Eiland, and the sinker ball is not down, and it isn't sinking very well. Even Clark's ball that tied up Pat Kelly at third had that severe overspin on it. Well, this Red Sox team has begun to hit about over the last week or so.
So they have Reed now at second base. His 16th run batted in. Luis Rivera. Even Rivera, who's playing shortstop in the absence of Nehring. Rivera is hitting the ball .271. He homered yesterday, his second of the year.
2 in the last 3 games.
Yep.
They were talking about the launching pad they just came from in Detroit, and the ball was flying out of there.
Only 1 out.
The weather gets warm, the ball carries better.
Strike 1. Reed is the runner at second.
So you won't see a whole lot of batting lineups in the major leagues that can go from 1 through 9 with the kind of production this team is able to get. And if Nehring hadn't hurt his back, he looked like he's going to be a pretty good offensive player too.
They're very concerned about him now. They don't know what the future holds for him. Oh, 2.
So he's gone away from
with the hard stuff.
Yeah, he's gone away from the sinker, gone with some four-seam fastballs.
Clark reached on the error to start the inning. He eventually scored on the sacrifice fly to right by Bruninski. Pena tripled home a run, and Reed has doubled home a run. Rivera, formerly of the Montreal Ball Club. One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, there was Rivera playing well for Joe Morgan that allowed them to let Marty Barrett go. They wanted Jody Reed at second base where they felt he was better than at shortstop. And Joe Morgan with Billy Fisher right behind him, the pitching coach. Oh, pickoff was on and they goofed it up.
The pitch made anyway, and it's inside. 2-2.
When a pitcher struggling like Eiland is right now, he is oblivious to everything else going on in the field except trying to get the ball in a good spot. And Sachs had the pickoff on, was standing on second. And the entire right side of the infield was open.
The count has gone to 2-2 on Rivera, the number 9 hitter, with Burks on deck. Back into center. Kelly with the glasses down makes the catch. Reed back to tag. He's on his way to third, and the throw will not be in time. So Rivera goes out to center, and Reed moves to third. He's there with 2 gone for Ellis Burks.
So even though the stolen base department is very soft for this Red Sox team, they've shown the way Greenwell hustled second. Now Jody Reed does into third. They're an alert base running team. They're a veteran team, basically.
Here's Burks. And there's a strike from Eiland.
Crazy the hoopla Pat Kelly had coming into Yankee Stadium. He deserved it because he made some brilliant plays at second base the 5 games he was there, and necessity to take Sachs off third, and comes play here for the first inning. Boots one, starts things going.
The count is 1-1.
But Eiland didn't help himself either because there were some bullets hit off him after that.
He comes back and throws a strike to Burks.
The
count's 1-2. Well, a pitcher's got to be able to help himself through some of those situations.
Well, they talk about Eiland's stuff not being overpowering, and the numbers show that does not strike out many at all, and he's got a nibble. And he's got to be pretty fine. The sinker ball early in the ball game, you want to try and get him, and his defense has got to be pretty good behind him also because they put a lot of balls in play and relatively hard.
One and 2 the count. And a tap left side. Kelly in front of Espinosa makes the play to retire the side. But the Red Sox score 3 times in the inning. They pick up 3 hits, a couple errors help, and they leave a man. Bottom of the second coming, the score 3-0 Boston.
Here's to you, America, for being strong, for coming through. We send our best to you. Nothing beats our best Budweiser. Nothing beats a Bud. And we'll toast and cheer with the king of beers. Nothing beats a Bud.
94 ways to love your baby. 16.
Make a fuss over your baby.
42.
Take your baby out for a night on the town.
94.
Fill it up. Ultra 94.
When your car's your baby, it deserves a gasoline as special as Sunoco Ultra 94 because only Ultra gives you the highest octane under the sun with great detergency.
61.
Take your baby home to meet your mama.
94 Ultra 94.
This consultant goes through our voice and data network, puts a real scare in us. Says we're vulnerable big time to local loop failure, given the network's strategic significance. Strongly suggests loop diversity, route and cable diversity, and I'm thinking, there go my numbers. Enter New York Telephone. They give me split circuits through 2 COs for quick restoral after loop failure, all for a small surcharge on our local distribution channel. They got my attention.
We're all connected, New York Telephone.
Our free exhaust inspection covers up to 28 items. Many no bigger than this. Because at Meineke Discount Mufflers, nothing is unimportant.
Number 27.
Dave Eiland sitting in the Yankee dugout. He limped off the mound and toward the dugout after being touched for those 3 runs in the top of the second.
Not much you can be told by Mark Connor, except they hang in there. We'll get you some runs or shut them down the rest of the way.
Here's Mel Hall to start the bottom of the second inning. Hall, Noakes, and Barfield against Andy Darwin, who gave up a 2-out double to Mattingly in the first and then got Moss. He throws a strike to Hall. Hall hit only 175 in April, but 322 in May, including the game-tying home run yesterday in Baltimore off Greg Olson. Hits the ball hard but foul. And he was behind in the count. 0-2.
Well, when he boasted a week or so ago that if I get 400 bats, I'll lead this ball club in RBIs, people kind of laughed it off, and he was very serious. He just might.
2 strikes.
And now what's happened with Hensley Mullins swinging the bat better, coming off the bench and starting to play against some right-handers. Mesa yesterday, Barfield struggling. That means the platoon between Mullins and Hall may be somewhat off.
Hall gets under this one. It's a towering fly ball that Bruninski in right handles. So Hall, who got under it a little bit, is the first out. It brings up Matt Noakes.
This Red Sox team has done very well against the West. The Western Division clubs, they are 15-8. Coming into today, just 9-9 against the East. But now they get into the Eastern Division clubs very heavily, just like the Yankees are. In the competition within their own division.
Noakes at 295. Facing Darwin. Darwin's earned run average coming into this is .589. He had a very poor first outing for the Red Sox. Foul ball, strike 1. He made his debut against the Indians and lasted only an inning and 2/3, allowing 6 earned runs. It took him 41 pitches and 22 minutes to get through the first inning. He didn't get anybody out. He made 33 pitches without getting anybody out. And the Red Sox were wondering. They spent $11.8 million in his contract. Another towering fly ball into right. But Bruninski will have room and makes the catch.
He's not really fooling me either, is he? His first 2 hitters.
No, I'll tell you, Hall and Noakes, for that matter, got under a little bit, but they didn't miss by much, hitting the ball out.
5 of the 6 players up have gotten the ball in the air in the right field area for the Yankees. When Lou Gorman, the general manager, went out and got, he had the scouting reports and on him and things, and they looked at his delivery, and they also thought of Fenway Park on that left field wall. And the short porch, a lot of teams still stack their lineups with right-handed power hitters to get the ball in the air in Fenway. And you figure if he gets half his starts there or thereabouts, he could negate some of that right-handed power with that sidearm delivery.
Drops down to Barfield and picks up a strike. Well, this is his first start outside of Fenway this year. His 5th start of the year. Barfield takes it close. It's 1-1.
For that crossfire delivery, it's so hard for hitters to pick up the ball. He talks about Les Moss helping him a lot. Houston, Les Moss gave him a few tips and taught him off-speed stuff. He used to be pretty much a power pitcher.
There's a strike. Pitch darts over. It's 1-2. Darwin break down the American League and the National League.
Normal. They say the DH allows about a half a run per team per game with the DH, and so you've got almost a half a run per game variance for the National American League. Not quite.
He's ahead in the count to Barfield and strikes him out. First strikeout for Darwin. The Yankees go down in order in the second. At the end of 2 from Yankee Stadium this afternoon, Boston with a 3-run second holds a 3-0 lead.
And Alex watches Matt Noakes crack one to the corner. Mel Hall workout begins with Bergen Home Fitness.
Since 1985, Bergen Home Fitness has been offering the finest at-home exercise equipment. Aerobic equipment like treadmills, stair climbers, exercise bikes, and cross-country skiers. Quality weight machines and free weights. We only carry today's top manufacturers, and all of our products are covered by parts and labor in-home warranties with free delivery and free installation.
Unlike department stores, fitness is our only business.
Bergen Home Fitness, with 4 convenient locations.
Hey, Cratch, can you believe we got suckered into this Fillmore's commercial?
At least Dave Fillmore appreciates our sense of style.
Yeah, even off the field.
And Dave still has the greatest selection of clothing in the area.
Better than the competition.
What competition?
Why else would so many giants shop at Fillmore's?
True, but you don't have to be a giant to feel like one.
That's because the Fillmore's customers are already a member of a giant team.
So score your own touchdowns at Fillmore's Men's Shop and become a member of our winning team.
Young and old in North Jersey are getting involved in the fun of paintball here at Indoor Paintball just off Route 80 South Hackensack.
Have your next birthday or office party here.
Spectators admitted free.
We provide the gun and all the equipment to safely enjoy the game. If you come alone, we'll put you on a team.
Wow, even I can play.
For a great party and adventure close to home, experience the excitement of indoor paintball. Call 1-800-334-5555.
Indoor Paintball. You have to see it to believe it.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by Mizuno, state-of-the-art performance products for baseball and softball. Moving on to the third from Yankee Stadium this afternoon. The Yankees and the Red Sox opening the series, and for the Yankees, the first game of a 12-game homestand. Carlos Quintana leads off. He was called out on strikes in the first. The only strikeout for Eiland so far. This one inside for a ball. Quintana likes the number 2 spot. He's hit all up and down the order for the Red Sox. Last year hit in 6 different spots in the order, most of the time number 2. They had him 9th in one game.
Well, when you can hit the ball the opposite way as he can, that's a very valuable man. Hitting behind the runner, you can do some things with Quintana by starting a runner. This is getting to be a very tough Sunfield now in left field. The start of this game, and I keep looking at Mel Hall flipping those glasses up and down and left. It's the time of the day where you hope to hit it the other way, especially with a lot of white shirts. The battle also behind the hitter.
And a base hit through the hole past a diving Kelly. So the Red Sox collect hit number 4.
You saw a reason right there, I think, why Quintana's a pretty smart hitter. First time up, they pounded him inside and they caught him looking away, and he adjusted this time. Looked like he's going to try and pull the ball and turn on something inside, looking inside part of the plate. And that's what he got.
It brings up Wade Boggs. Boggs grounded out his first time. Mattingly took care of the play unassisted. And he takes the pitch.
Wade Boggs, and
take a look at the Franklin batting glove batting leaders. Boggs number 6 in the league. Brian Downing at the top of the list at 390.
6 and coming. It's Wade Boggs.
He shoots this one into left. Hall drifts back and makes the catch.
Wade Boggs was talking about a fishing trip he had with Mike Greenwell in the Winter Haven area this spring, and he said one thing that Greenwell said to me got me on beam. He said, I looked at tapes, the mechanics were good over the last 2 years, he said, but Greenwell said to me, he said, while we were fishing, he said, in fact, they had a bass on. He said, that's how I remember it. He said, you know, Wade, you're not hitting those sinking line drives to left, you know, those hard ground balls up the middle like you did 3 years ago. And Wade said he put 2 and 2 together and decided, and this is how fine this guy is, that he was swinging at the bottom part of the ball. He said, I started in spring training swinging at the top of the ball. My line drive started.
Clark, a line drive, and they're going to get a double play. Clark lines to Mattingly, who doubles up Quintana. And that'll take care of the Red Sox in the first on the line DP. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left on base. We're headed to the bottom of the third. 3-0 Boston.
What do you get when you mix the sights of summer with the sounds of summer?
you get one great day at the ballpark. On Sunday, June 2nd, the Yankees battled the Brewers at 1:30. And following the game, get ready for the good vibrations as music's legendary Boys of Summer, the Beach Boys, perform their greatest hits. Yankee baseball and the Beach Boys in concert. It's a great doubleheader that you won't want to miss. Get your tickets now.
This summer, you can win one of 50,000 prizes worth over $1 million by finding one man.
I'm back, and this time I brought friends.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before?
You know, you look very familiar.
Nice suit.
Where is he?
Find Budman inside packages of Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry Draft to win.
Nothing beats a Bud Man!
Fact: Ford Explorer is the only vehicle ever named Four-Wheeler Magazine's 4x4 of the Year, 2 years running. Fact: Ford Explorer is the only sport utility vehicle with one-touch shift-on-the-fly four-wheel drive. Fact: Now your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer can save you $1,300 on options like air conditioning, AM/FM cassette, and more. Call it leadership, call it winning, call it anything you want, but see your Tri-State Quality Ford dealer and see for yourself.
Want to turn your Memorial Day into a party? Memorial Day? No problem. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Tonight at 10:30, catch MSG Network's Boxing, The Sweet Science with Gil Clancy and Bruce Beck right here on MSG Network, the best in the game. A little protection from the Memorial Day sun, right to the Yankee towel. We move into the bottom of the third. Yankees are down by 3 and send Alvaro Espinoza to lead off against Andy Darwin. Espinoza, Kelly, that's Pat Kelly, and then Roberto Kelly. Alvaro takes the ball. Darwin making his 5th start. There's a look at Mattingly and Gene Monahan working on his little finger.
Looked like he cut a hole in the batting glove. Apparently they have something splinted on there or taped. Give him a little relief and punch that little finger hole out.
A strike the count on Espinoza. So it's 1-1. Darwin went into camp with the Red Sox this spring and was lost. There's a fly ball into short center. They'll carry to Burke, who's got it. Darwin was used to
literally.
No, Darwin was used to. In the Houston camp, they had all kinds of weight programs and very regimented. And the Red Sox camp is not like that. They kind of throw the balls and bats out and say, let's go play. And he said he really looked for extra time to come back and get what the kind of work that he felt he needed.
Does that tell you that Joe Morgan, the present-day managers from the old school?
Yep. Let him play.
And Billy Fisher also, who doesn't get real tricky, and yet year after year, even though they say the Red Sox aren't going to have a good staff, Billy Fisher somehow turns pitchers who are in some cases rejects into pretty good pitchers.
Pat Kelly takes this one for
Look what
ball
he did
2.
for Harris last year. There's Billy. It's telling him to keep the shoulder in. He's trying to get the attention of Darwin or Pena. Keep the left shoulder in. Don't fly open. Your arm drags.
Kelly fouls it out of play. This entire Red Sox staff is pretty much of that mindset, whether you're talking Fisher on pitching or Hebner now on hitting.
I'll tell you what Billy Fisher teaches. He teaches how to throw breaking balls over the plate very well, a controlled breaking ball. Tom Bolton's going to pitch in this series, and he's got him throwing his curveball. And he was almost a non-prospect for this organization a couple of years ago.
2-1 to count on Pat Kelly.
Of course, it doesn't hurt to be able to throw Roger Clemens out there every 5th day either, even though he struggled his last 2 outings. I mean, that's kind of an edge in the Eastern Division.
You better believe it.
With the Rocket.
And to have the lineup that they present. 2-1. He was fisted on that one and lines it to short. Rivera takes care of it.
Well, you can tell that conversation we had with Frank Malzone yesterday in Baltimore, advanced scouting, what they're going to try and do to Pat Kelly. He made the comment yesterday he thinks Pat Kelly still swings like he's got an aluminum bat, that he can hit a ball on the fists, not get the barrel out, and still get base hits. Well, you just saw him jammed severely.
2 outs in the third. Here's Roberto Kelly. Kelly flied to right his first time.
I didn't remember Darwin as being a fly ball pitcher this much. I just thought he had more of a sinking action on his fastball. Most of the time, he's got most of the balls in the air today. All but the one ground out by Moss.
One strikeout and then the ground ball by Moss. He's in on Kelly and he fouls it back. 2 strikes. Darwin, 35 years old. But like so many pitchers nowadays, takes great care of himself. Drops down and Kelly managed to hang in there and foul that one off.
The right-handed hitter hopes he doesn't spike the third base coach. So Mel Hall stepped in the bucket and did it so successfully for many years. And boy, you say keep that tail in there and keep that left shoulder in. When Darwin dropped down like he did, heart's not willing sometimes.
Roberto behind 0-2. Red Sox 3 runs, 4 hits. The Yankees just a hit, and they've committed 2 errors. Roberto with his fan club here is out on strikes. Darwin's second, and the Yankees are out 1-2-3 in the third. We've gone through 3. Al Troutwig will be stepping in here with the score 3-0 Boston.
Kelly rocks one past Eugene. Got the slow start, rounds third. There'll be a play at the plate. Safe.
Potemkin Mitsubishi makes it easy with huge selections of Eclipses, Gallants, and Motor Trend's Car of the Year, the 3000 GT. Makes it easy with a service and parts department that's open on Saturdays. Makes it easy with Japan's Car of the Year coming soon, the all-new 1992 Mitsubishi Diamante. Makes it easy with low-cost leasing, giant discounts, and easy financing. Potemkin Mitsubishi makes it easy.
Young and old in North Jersey are getting involved in the fun of paintball here at Indoor Paintball just off Route 80 South Hackensack.
Have your next birthday or office party here.
Spectators admitted free.
We provide the gun and all the equipment to safely enjoy the game. If you come alone, we'll put you on a team.
Wow, even I can play.
For a great party and adventure close to home, experience the excitement of indoor paintball. Call 1-800-334-5555.
Indoor Paintball. You have to see it to believe it.
A face is a piece of art, and it needs a great frame, says Vahe Kasparian of Crystal Optics in Englewood Cliffs. Fashion-conscious men and women are turning to Crystal Optics for exclusive high-fashion eyewear, state-of-the-art thin lenses, and Varilux Infinity progressive lenses. For the best design eyewear in the area and personalized service, call Crystal Optics, where Vahe is waiting to serve the entire family. Dial 947-0940.
Back at the stadium, Al Troutwig with Tony Kubek. We used all types of transportation to get back to New York. Yankees used the bus. I happened to take the plane. And in what must have stirred memories of a bygone era, you took the train with Dwayne Stats.
Jogged alongside Amtrak all the way up. A couple stops in Philadelphia, Wilmington. It was terrific. So relaxing. Treated you so nicely. Those railroad men are men's men, I'll tell you right now.
Why is that?
You don't mess with them. Look like they've been pumping a little iron there, those guys.
Red Sox will start things off, and this is Mike Greenwell, the left fielder, in the 4th inning. Second inning was a bad inning to be a Kelly. Pat Kelly committed an error. Roberto Kelly did too. Dave Eiland gave up a couple of solid hits. Red Sox 3-0, and Greenwell will be put out. Second unassisted play by Mattingly in the game. That'll bring up Tom Bruninski. And just after Dwayne Stats had the words out of his mouth that the Red Sox had gone with very few sacked flies on the season, Bruninski delivered the first of the runs, bringing in Jack Clark. Bruninski hitting .232.
Eiland through that second inning just had no control of his slider. It was a little flat pitch. It was only breaking a couple of inches and staying right around mid-thigh high.
And Eiland really limped back to the mound after backing up third base when a Alvaro Espinosa relay from center field went astray.
There was a slider in a great spot with a lot of late breaking action.
No balls and a strike. 1 out on a gorgeous day in the Bronx. Bruninski cracks one to center field. Kelly tries to pull it out of the white shirts and the sun, and does. 2 away.
Well, we saw that ball and that heat and humidity in Baltimore carrying. Billy Fisher, the pitching coach, already talking about the ball carrying so well in Detroit. As soon as the weather gets hot. A slow ran curveball, first one that Eiland is throwing. It gets hit very deep to center field, right at the 400-foot mark at the warning track.
Roberto's been busy. Not only that fly ball, but he cracked his ribs to the turf in an effort to catch a line shot that went for a triple for Tony Pena, and then he made the error. Here is Pena, who went all the way to third on that miss by Roberto Kelly. It went for a triple and an RBI.
There's no question, Al, since Don Mattingly spoke his piece a short while back, and led by him on the bases and defensively, that this team has played a lot more aggressive baseball. And for a while there, when they were going so poorly, they were out there like walking through the motions and very frustrated state.
Donnie's just got to be careful sliding into second base. That's been the cause of all his injury problems. The bruised knee and what looked to be a dislocated pinky. It looked really shaky when he came up from the slide.
You wonder if he dove head first because he was afraid to go on the knee and re-injure that. And he's playing with a little tender hamstring.
Well, he's run out of ways to slide. He's tried head first and tail first, and both have wound up with injuries.
It's interesting how, you know,
Strike
great athletes on the field, major league athletes, many of them can only slide on one side. So if they do hurt something or get a sore from sliding or abrasion, they end up sliding right on top of it.
You know, it's called a bag, but it's far from it. Those bases are pretty hard. The 3-1. And Dave Eiland loses Tony Pena. Pena's reached both times now, and that will bring second baseman Jody Reed, who doubled in a run as well back in the fateful second inning.
Tony Pena can be a little sneaky around the bag, and Don Mattingly, I'm sure, will remind Eiland with 2 outs not to take Pena for granted. He's stolen 3 bases this year. For a catcher, it's a pretty high total.
Well, Jody Reed hitting only 219. He's hitting 306 though with men in scoring position. Doesn't have one in this situation, but that's the type of clutch hitting that the Red Sox have been getting from Jody Reed. Reed had a 4-hit game yesterday, and a dismal day for Dana Kicker and the Sox, who have lost 6 of their last 7 on the road. First pitch to him.
When Jody Reed is hitting, he is a pretty good number 2 hitter. Well, you can have Ellis Burks, Jody Reed, but even with the 4 hits, he's still in pretty much of a slump this season. You end up putting Quintana there and show a little flexibility with your lineup. But Jody Reed's the guy that belongs number 2 when he's hitting.
He's hitting 8 today. And a strike. Well, Tony, I really love the way home plate umpire Al Clark signals the big strikes. I mean, he's got just a good forceful thrust up in the air, and when you get a strikeout, he just adds the little exclamation mark to it. 1-1. Fouled off.
Well, Al's got to be a little bit of a showman here today. His father's in the crowd, a writer over in New Jersey, a sports writer. So Al's got some of the family here. Put on the jewelry and the diamonds around the neck. I think he just came off his vacation for a couple of weeks. He's refreshed.
Well, thank you for that Al Clark update.
Well,
it was like Mike Wallace in biography there in about 15 seconds.
During the player's strike, he and his fiance then spent some time in northern Wisconsin and taught him how to fish. Boy, was that funny.
What's his favorite color? 1-2. Noakes fires to Mattingly, who whirls and late.
In fact, Al was catching some smallmouth bass in the lake in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, or his wife was. So he said, let me try it. He never fished. And the first time he threw a little Rapala plug out, it caught him right in the backside. A treble hook. I'm telling you, he'll never live it down. He said, don't you ever tell that story. I promised I wouldn't.
And you've held your promise. Very nice. Cracked up the middle. And the Sox will have runners at second and first with 2 away. That's your second fish story of the game, by the way.
Is?
Yes. You had the Wade Boggs hit the bottom of the baseball fishing story earlier.
I'm just baiting you to see if you can come up with a fish story.
I'm not going to add to the puns. I will not. Like say something like you hooked me into it or anything like that. Here's Luis Rivera. Luis flied out to center field his first time up.
And I promise the rest of the season I will stop carping at you.
Imagine saying this to a guy called Troutwig. Inside. Question is, Tony, I mean, if you weren't at a baseball game on this Memorial Day, what might you be doing?
Personally, or
yeah.
are you talking? I'd love to be with organist Eddie Layton on his converted tugboat, the one he designed, running up the Hudson toward West Point.
I wouldn't mind sitting next to you. The 1-0 pitch. There's Al Clark. You know, in between innings here at the stadium, they've got Jeffrey Lyons, the movie critic, who's been reviewing baseball movies. And just a few minutes ago, they had the scene from Naked Gun where Leslie Nielsen does the dance behind home plate. And I can almost see Al Clark going a little bit further with that whirling fist and doing the moonwalk out of a strike three. 1-1. Cracked between Kelly and Espinoza. They wave a run in. Here's the Hall throw. It's wide and late, and it's 4-0 Sox.
It's interesting that the pitch they want Dave Eiland to work in more often is that slow curveball. He threw under Bruninski that he shelled 400 feet to dead center field a little bit more, and he just does it. If he did that and Billy Martin were managing, to the number 9 hitter Rivera, threw him a little lollipop curve like that, Billy would be out there so fast chewing him out you wouldn't believe it. You just don't do this to, in my mind, to a 9th place hitter. He's hitting 9th for a reason. Yeah, he did it 2 home runs in the last 3 days. They think he's hurt, and Stump's going to ask Al Clark, is this going to be a trip? They feel something is wrong with Al, whether it's the foot or not, we're not certain. So Al Clark will listen in that there's no strategy or talking about pitch sections, only injury.
Well, Tony, you mentioned the number 9 hitter. It has been the number 6, 7, 8, and 9 hitters that have really hurt Dave Eiland. It was a Bruninski RBI. He hit 6th. Another one from Pena, 7. Reed, 8. He has the RBI, and the 4th RBI in the game from the number 9 hitter now in Rivera. The Stump seems satisfied, and Eiland remains. The fans don't seem to agree.
If you've got a great curveball to the 9th place hitter, use it. But that is his 4th best pitch, and he just threw it to the 9th place hitter that cost him a run. Stump's saying, what is going on?
Talking to Mark Connor. Yankees coming off a road trip in which their starters had an ERA of just over 2.2, and their bullpen had an ERA of 1.9. 2 outs, a run in. A fly ball by the number 1 hitter, Ellis Burks. Is it Espinoza or Kelly? It's Espy. Out of the sun. Pulls it in. Well, it all started so innocently. Greenwell went down, so did Bruninski, and then the trouble started. 1 more run is in. Dave Eiland has surrendered 4. The Yankees have but 1 hit off of Danny Darwin. They'll try to change that when we come back to the Bronx in a moment.
Hey, Wendy, you know what goes best with a Wendy's old-fashioned quarter-pound single hamburger?
French fries and a cold drink.
That's right. It's a single combo, and it's just $2.99. I'm going to call it Dave's Delight.
Hey, how about we call it Wendy's Delight?
Dave's Delight.
Wendy's Delight.
Dave's Delight.
Get a single combo, a quarter-pound hamburger, regular fries, and a regular Coke for just $2.99.
Wendy's Delight.
No, Wendy. We're calling it Dave's Delight.
Dad.
I got to get something around here named after me.
Try the single combo at Wendy's. It's Dave's Delight.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
Is that a new dispatcher?
Dad, she was here the last time you checked up on me.
So, those Rollins guys, they still trying to steal our drivers?
Well, I think I got that under control. My Payne Weber guy set up a 401k. It's a pension plan, so obviously the longer a driver stays...
That must be costing a bundle.
Well, it costs a lot less than constantly breaking in new men.
How does a stockbroker know that you've been having trouble keeping drivers?
He asked.
Motorcraft Energy Conserving Oil can help reduce fuel consumption. It can also reduce traffic. Motorcraft quality parts. Peace of mind from Ford.
A major medical and strategical conference going on between Dave Eiland, Mark Connor, and the Yankee training staff. I don't know whether it's still just his heel or his ego or his knee or what.
Well, you know, it could be the heel, but if it were the left foot that he landed on, you would think it'd be more, it would affect his delivery more. This happens to be the back foot, the right leg, that he pushes off. I tell you, a guy like Eiland, when you look at his numbers so far this year, is a guy that can tear up your bullpen unless he starts going deeper in the ballgame. I mean, he's gone 2 innings a couple of times. One time he won 7. And aside from that, 5 2/3 the most he's gone.
Steve Sax starts it off for the Yankees, who have only had one man reach base against the Texan, Danny Darwin. Danny was part of the dismantling of the Houston Astros. Two balls and a strike to Steve Sax, who just seems to struggle more and more and more with each trip to the plate. Tony, I can't remember the last time that Steve really ripped one.
I don't think Steve Sax really ever had to think much about hitting. It was so instinctive to him. And Frank Howard knows this is not the easiest swing to coach, because it's not a classic swing. It's not like hit through the ball. It's very short and choppy, and a lot of reacting to the ball instead of thinking his way through. And then you get to thinking too much, and you start putting the mental pressure on Steve that he does, because he is so intense.
Steve's career against Danny Darwin, of course, occurred in the National League. It's ironic that his career average against Darwin is almost what his batting average is this year. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
The one thing that surprised me about Steve Sax is that, in spite of all the slump, he really didn't even try to bunt that I can recall. I mean, and bunt his way on. Sometimes that can be a pretty good slump breaker. Wow, that was close. Oh, look at Darwin. Whoa. Look at this. He's got that much of the plate as he holds his hands about 4 or 5 inches apart.
It didn't have the Roger Clemens viciousness to it.
Pena set up right there, and I don't know if Clark called it because it was low. Apparently called it because it was wide outside, and Darwin says it had at least 4 inches of the plate.
Here's the captain playing his 1,001st game at first base, Don Mattingly. Nobody out, runner on. Darwin in the stretch. Mattingly sends one on that must be a tender pinky. Mike Greenwell.
Well, when we talked about, and there's another pitch inside part of the plate, it looked like it was just beneath the belt, about Mattingly when the finger was shown in his right hand, the hand you would pull the bat through to get out in front and pull an inside pitch. Whether or not that affected his swing, he'll never tell anybody anyway, it doesn't matter. But he didn't really pull through the ball, and the barrel of the bat dragged through the strike zone on an inside pitch.
Mattingly 12 games career at first base behind Hal Chase, who ironically was the first captain in the history of the Yankees. Mattingly the 10th. Here's Kevin Moss with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th inning. Moss had a ground ball to second his first time up, and he's hitting .273. I might think, Tony, that if the impact that Pat Kelly continues to make reflects in his popularity, he might want to have a chat with Kevin Moss about how you handle that sort of quick affection of the fans. Kevin, I think, has dealt with it very well.
Boy, fans, broadcast, everybody love home run hitters.
Oh, yeah.
And the home run streak that he started off on, unprecedented. He gained respect in a hurry, didn't he, Kevin Moss? And the walk total shows that, but the selection of pitches to him, always they're nibbling. In spite of the fact they know he may take pitches, they stay away and out of his power consistently.
He had 2 home runs on the road trip and went 3 for 5 yesterday. Now Clark says that was a strike, and it's 1-1.
Kevin's in one of those situations now. You could just see his front side flying open too soon. And for a guy who hits out of such, at times, extremely open stance, and you're using your hands more than your body to start with, when you fly open even more, you've got nothing left. A splitter or pound ball.
You know, so many of the big hitters step to the plate now with that open stance. You see Jack Clark come in with the classic closed slugging stance. It's almost a relief to think it's still out there.
Well, Kevin Moss had to hear of Yankee Stadium before he got here. He developed that stance and started working on it a few years ago. Or somebody said, hey, look, open your stance up and get up on the plate. There you go.
Sachs is running. Moss is swinging. The tag, not in time.
A very brazen move by Steve Sachs when you're down by 4 runs with your cleanup hitter on, and fortunately he made it. Tony Pena, one of the best throwers in the game. And off Danny Darwin, somewhat of a long delivery, not expecting it. Sachs barely makes it. Again, Moss over the top of what looked like a split-fingered fastball, and it is just bang, bang, and Sachs gets away with one. Now the right side, you don't ever know if it's a good play. First of all, he could have gotten thrown. That's the first bad thing. Now the hole on the right side is no longer open, so that will give Quintana more range at first. I'm not certain that's a good play right here, even though he made it.
Moss swings and is gone. He doesn't have to worry about whether the right side of the infield is open now. 6th stolen base for Steve Sachs, and the 38th strikeout on the season for Kevin Moss, who in that awful category has tied Jesse Barfield for the team lead. That'll bring up Mel Hall, who had the dramatic 9th inning game-tying home run yesterday. First at bat here today, he flied to right. 3rd strikeout by Darwin. So far, he has been pitching well. Darwin had the viral pneumonia and went to have himself checked out because his shoulder was bothering him. That's when they discovered the pneumonia, and with the weakness, and they go for Sachs at second. With the weakness that the pneumonia brought on his body, they think that's how he may have hurt his shoulder. But he's back now after his trip on the DL. And for a time, it looked as though the Red Sox couldn't get a win unless Roger Clemens pitched it. That has changed recently. Mel Hall cracks it. Quintana scoops it, and that'll do it. Danny Darwin allows his 2nd base runner in the game, but the Yankees are unable to manufacture anything from the Steve Sachs walk and stolen base. Back to Yankee Stadium in a moment.
WNEW-FM, where rock lives today. It's not easy to follow in the tracks of a legend. Ask Ford Explorer. With 190 horses, Jeep Cherokee runs circles around it. Compare fuel economy and warranty. Explorer falls short. Finally, Cherokee has available 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. Explorer doesn't. Sorry, Explorer. This probably isn't a good time to bring up price.
There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers.
What's the temperature going to be?
What's the mayor doing?
Is Bush in town?
For all news all the time.
Wins News Time traffic report.
AccuWeather forecast.
10-10 wins every time. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
At Meineke Discount Mufflers, one thing we never discount is service. Because at Meineke, nothing is unimportant.
There's a whole lot of excitement going on, and the boys from the Bronx are having a blast. And kids, have they got a day planned for you? On Saturday, June 1st, the Yanks battle the Brewers at 1:30, and all fans 14 and under will take home this great-looking Yankee collectible ring, compliments of Citibank. What a way to show your Yankee spirit all season long. Get your tickets now.
You're watching the Yankees on MSG, and they're brought to you in part by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers for everything in home electronics, music, and movies. Nobody beats the Wiz. Danny Darwin walked off the mound, but not until he had a last word with Al Clark about the strike zone, which he disagreed with.
Oh, like you do the pitching, I'll do the umpiring. And now another pause from Darwin. Well, maybe Billy Fisher's got his pitching staff stirred up. He figures there are a lot of bases on balls being issued. He talked about it before the game.
Carlos Quintana, 1 for 2, starts off the 5th. You know, there was some talk in Boston that Roger Clemens' strike zone has been shrinking as the season has moved along. And, of course, that leads to some speculation as to whether the umpires are just being a little tougher on him. Chatted with Roger before the game briefly, and he totally disagrees.
Well, if it was shrinking, you know, he got battered around badly the last 2 outings. It had nothing to do with the strike zone. I mean, this is a guy at an ERA about .50 for his first 5 starts.
I didn't say this was my theory. I just said that there was some chat in Beantown about it.
Well, and Billy Fisher also gets mad when everybody comes into town and Roger Clemens has 2 off starts. Probably he's 35, and they say, what's wrong with his arm? Immediately. They've been doing that for years with Roger. I mean, it's like he's got to be picture perfect.
Dave Eiland returns, and Carlos Quintana delivers a long, high fly ball out toward Monument Park, and it's gone.
2-0.
The fans were saying, that's enough. We've seen enough. Carlos Quintana's 3rd home run of the year.
That is the 4th home run Dave Eiland has given up this year. And he's just over 40 innings pitched.
Yankees now on a 5-0 hole in the top of the 5th inning. A leadoff home run, and Stump Merrill says, Mark, let's do something. Shakes his head, and Connor's off to the phone.
It's a sinker ball pitcher, Dave Eiland, who's having trouble getting him to hit the ball on the ground, and there's a reason why. Another pitch right around belt high. 2 balls, no strikes, and Quintana says, I'm going to get out in front of one.
That landed right in front of Phil Rizzuto's number out there in left. Madigan scoops way off the bag. Eiland steps on it with that bad heel and comes up limping again. It was in time to get Wade Boggs.
He struggled getting over in the first place, running on the bad heel. What a play by Madigan. He's playing Boggs well off the bag, and he still had to go 3 or 4 strides. And he was waiting for Eiland to get there, but Eiland gimping over on the leg, couldn't get there in time. They still got the play, but then he re-injures himself again.
On a play that looked identical to the one in which he injured it in the first place. Stump Merrill is out again. This is the 2nd time today that Dave Eiland has come up after a play limping visibly.
Now, Al Clark is saying one time an injury thing. I don't think he's going to give it to him this time. And what Stump is saying, hey, does that mean that Plunk, who's only thrown about 7 or 8 pitches down there, is going to get all the pitches he wants on the mound? And that's a discussion right now. We'll see how Al Clark rules on this. Stump is talking to him right now because Plunk has not been up very much. And Clark said, are you taking him out because he's ineffective or because he's hurt? And I'm sure Stump is saying, I want Plunk to get all he can because he's hurt. Now Clark is going to the crew chief, Larry Barnett, and they're discussing the situation.
Well, that will do it for Dave Eiland. 4 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs. As he leaves, the score is 5-0. And so the call has gone out to Eric Plunk. And that call to the bullpen is brought to you by New York Telephone. We're all connected. New York Telephone.
Our telecommunications strategy needed some serious rethinking. User demand on our 9.6s was outrunning bandwidth, and we had way too much contention for analog line time. New York Telephone took the RFP and ran with it. They said we should go digital end-to-end, and they spec'd out a reconfigurable private net, central office-based, with a T1 backbone between offices and 56 kilobit lines out to our remote nodes. Very hot.
We're all connected, New York Telephone.
Who won the game?
What was the score?
Who they play?
For all news all the time.
Wins News Time traffic report.
AccuWeather forecast.
10-10 wins every time. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
At the first tickly itch of athlete's foot, Desonex, do not stall. Desonex intercepts athlete's foot before it turns ugly, killing those grungy fungi before they get cracking and burning. All you hard chargers, Desonex knows you. Stall no longer, please. There's a can at the store with your salvation in it. Come get it, or else don't blame Desonex.
WNEW FM, where rock lives today.
Roger Clemens chatting with Gator Mike Greenwell. Clemens will go tomorrow against Tim Leary, and then it'll be Scott Sanderson and Tom Bolton. That'll be Wednesday, the next time we see you on MSG. Here's Eric Plunk.
Get all he needs with the injury, and Al Clark signaled up to the press box that it is the heel. So after a little discussion with Stump and talking to Joe Morgan, Plunk will get all he needs.
Plunk was really struggling, Tony. I mean, everybody was sort of saying that his days as a Yankee were numbered, and they very well may be. But he's retired his last 13 batters, 7 of 7 yesterday in a very close ball game.
Well, his stuff was Roger Clemens like the last 2 times out. Short outings, but striking out guys. A great curveball, slider, fastball looked like it's in the mid-90s again. He's a very enigmatic young man.
It's been all or nothing. You know, he averages almost 10 strikeouts for 9 innings if you extrapolate his numbers. But it's either, it seems, a strikeout or a double.
What do you do to his numbers?
I don't know. You take him and just blow him up.
Mark Connor, who I believe got a great report from Gene Monahan, who was on the phone with Mike Witt. The words Gene Monahan used is that Mike Witt, the way he's thrown the ball the last couple of times, is euphoric. He's high as a kite. He thinks he's ready right now.
Now look at the way Jesse Barfield is in right field, just in one of the little shadows there. He's in the only spot of shade that can be found on the playing field right now. It's hot out there. It's up in the 80s. As the players take a timeout here. We've done an awful lot of talking about Joe D. and Ted Williams' hitting streak back in 1941 as the hot days of the season moved along. They didn't try to find the shade. They sought the spotlight out. Interesting, Tony, that the Boston Red Sox history shows a hitting streak that is not nearly as impressive, but 34 games. But it was a DiMaggio, too. It was Dom DiMaggio who holds the Red Sox record for the longest hitting streak, 1949.
But Ellis Burks, we just showed with the towel in his head, he's got a 15-gamer going right now after an 0 for 3 today.
Jack Clark is in the on-deck circle. First of all, you'll hear, or you'll see, Joe Carter. Jack follows the beat of a different drummer. If he doesn't like you, he'll tell you to your face. And certainly his reputation.
Of course, Carter, Clark, and Gwynn were teammates last year.
There's the sometimes whining Mike Marshall. If he doesn't want to play, there's plenty of guys who want to. Guys are getting fed up with all of this.
Well, Lou Gorman said to Mike Marshall, you want your release? Fine, we'll give you a release. You accept one thing, you're not going to get paid. Ooh.
Jack Clark fouls it up in our neighborhood. So the first pitch of Eric Plunk is a strike. 0-1 with 1 out. Dave Eiland knocked out after surrendering the leadoff home run to Carlos Quintana and then banging his heel again on first base on the 3-1 ground out that Wade Boggs sent out to Mattingly for the first out.
Now there's a possibility they could DL an Eiland with a persisting heel injury, bring a pitcher up in the minor leagues until September, or rather June 6th, when Witt is going to be ready and eligible to come off the DL. They could take a look at one of their kids, whether it's Jeff Johnson, Wade Taylor, or maybe somebody else out of the bullpen. Alan Mills again. Jeff Johnson sounds good to me.
Is that who you like?
Everybody else does too. And you get reports from Peter Jamison and Brian Sabian and some of the scouts that are valuing these guys and the managers down there.
Ground ball right at Espinosa, playing on a tender hamstring. He fires to Mattingly, who I'm sure feels that in that pinky in the glove that he hurt earlier on second base, sliding into second. So Clark is gone. That'll bring up Mike Greenwell.
Greenwell, another one of those wearing the high top, but he had so much trouble with his ankles last year. He figured he needed more support. He hit on a very tender right ankle, which got him off to an awful start last season.
Greenwell hitting .295. Ball 1.
He got those from Larry Bird after Bird wore him out in a basketball game up in Boston Garden. Put the cleats on. He wears them now at the plate.
Now that's not true, is it?
Well, that's one that is true.
No. He did not get those high tops from Larry Bird, did he? You made it up. That's a total fabrication. It is, isn't it?
Gee, how quickly you catch on.
And a strike, 2-1.
This team's got a lot of versatility. You know, you can lead Boggs off because of his high on base percentage. When he gets hot with a power stroke, you can bat him third. Greenwell is hit third. They got 3 or 4 guys in this team who could be third place hitters. And that gives Joe Morgan a lot of maneuverability. If you're going to try and go matchups, who hits whom the best, I'd like to have a set lineup, but he's juggled it a little bit. The team was in a hitting slump.
And a walk to Mike Greenwell. Well, Yankee fans might remember he had an inside-the-park grand slam last September off Greg Cadaret, and the other inside-the-park home run, interestingly enough, for Greenwell came off of Greg Cadaret, too. But it's not Greg Cadaret on the mound right now. It's Eric Plunk, who's pitching with 2 outs. He got his first batter, Jack Clark, on a ground out. Now he's walked Greenwell and chases him back with a turn to Mattingly. And that brings up Tom Bruninski. Sacrifice fly RBI and a fly to center field. He's going. The throw by Noakes. The tag by Sack Sisley.
On Red Sox light. Every year they are the lowest in the major leagues in bases stolen.
Greenwell 6th of the season to lead this team.
And Joe Morgan, knowing the length of time it takes Tom Bruninski to unload, or rather Eric Plunk to unload, checks the arm of Matthew Noakes. And sometimes you do that just to find out how well a guy is throwing, even though you've got a 5-0 lead with a Bruninski up, who's the leading RBI guy in this club. Check out Noakes throwing is what it was.
Greenwell leads the Red Sox in stolen bases with the 6 now. And Tony Pena and Matt Noakes.
Can't give all the blame to the catcher, which is what is done in the stat sheets almost daily. So much depends upon how that pitcher holds a guy on.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at that list, but you can also look at Matt Noakes and the throws that he has made to nail runners.
And it doesn't tell what pitches they're stealing on. So many times, if a guy's got a guy might have a quick delivery and the catcher might have a quick release, but if they catch a slow curveball, a fork ball that bounces, that the catcher can't handle, even though there's quickness on both ends.
2 outs and 2-1 pitch. Fly ball right side. Looks as though Mattingly will have a play, and he does. Eric Plunk finally gets the Red Sox down here in the top of the 5th inning, but the Yankees still trail by the score of 5-0, and they are still trying to solve Danny Darwin. He's given up only 1 hit.
You're the top, you're the Coliseum, you're the top, you're the Louvre Museum, you're the best in beer, that fact is clear, each drop, you're #1, second to none, you're the top.
Heineken, America's #1 imported beer. Amstel Light, America's #1 imported light beer.
You're a cut above, the taste we love, each drop, you're the best of both worlds, you're the tops.
Hey, Wendy, you know what goes best with a Wendy's old-fashioned quarter-pound single hamburger?
French fries and a cold drink.
That's right. It's a single combo, and it's just $2.99. I'm going to call it Dave's Delight.
Hey, how about we call it Wendy's Delight?
Dave's Delight.
Wendy's Delight.
Dave's Delight.
Get a single combo, a quarter-pound hamburger, regular fries, and a regular Coke for just $2.99.
Wendy's Delight.
No, Wendy. We're calling it Dave's Delight.
Dad.
I got to get something around here named after me.
Try the single combo at Wendy's. It's Dave's Delight.
Phil Rizzuto for the Money Store. For the Money Store. The Money Store. The Money Store. The Money Store.
Holy cow, I've been talking about the Money Store a long time. Back in '67, they pioneered home equity loans. Today, they're America's largest independent home equity lender. So if you need a low fixed rate home equity loan for any reason at all, call the Money Store. You'll get a great deal. 1-800-LOAN-YES, the Money Store, where America goes for money.
Want to turn your Memorial Day into a party? Memorial Day? No problem. Nobody beats the Wiz.
Undoubtedly some concern in the Yankee dugout about the finger of Don Mattingly. Steve Donahue and Stump Merrill talking. Now Mattingly's heading toward the Yankee clubhouse. Whether he's also heading out of the game remains to be seen. He hurt his pinky, and we speculated after looking at the replay that he dislocated it. We had a pretty good shot of it for a split second. He stayed in the game, did bat after that, and flied out. And we'll see what happens as Matt Noakes starts things off with the Yankees in the bottom of the 5th. Noakes flied out to right field.
Well, if Mattingly is leaving, and we'll find out when they take the field defensively, it means Stubb will have to make a decision. Will he lose his DH, put the pitcher in the lineup, and put Maz at first, or will we take a Velarde and play him over at first base and keep Maz in the DH spot, an extra hitter?
Matt Noakes sends one high out to Bruninski. It's twice now that Noakes has flied out to Bruno in right field. On the nobody beats the Wiz American League scoreboard, bottom of the 4th inning. Tigers lead Milwaukee 2-1. And at Wrigley Field, top of the 2nd, Mets lead the Cubs 1-0. UB Brooks has a home run, a solo shot, his 6th of the season. Jesse Barfield struck out his first time up, one of 3 strikeouts that Danny Darwin has put on the board today. One ball and no strikes.
When you're in a slump, as Jesse Barfield is, it's awfully difficult to snap out of it against a Danny Darwin. It's coming from the side as he did. I wonder if Stump Merrill had any thoughts of playing Pat Sheridan in this game. Another left-handed bat against Darwin. And Sheridan slowly is becoming almost like Scott Lusader was, almost invisible man, although he did pinch run in the ball game yesterday.
Barfield struggled on the road trip. He went 3 for 20. And a search for a home run in that swing. 2 balls and a strike.
And Jesse is usually a hard swinger, and right there you can see how he's overswinging, trying to catch up to the baseball, a fastball up and in. When you start your bat that quickly and that hard, you become ultra vulnerable to breaking balls away.
Woof. You almost feel the breeze. 2-2.
Yeah, Frank, we know what you're thinking. You'd like him to shorten that swing, wouldn't you? But a lot of people have tried that with Jesse. Cito Gaston up in Toronto.
It was a rare quiet moment for Frank. Full count now with 1 out in the 5th.
You can tell Darwin didn't say a word on that after the little discussion he had going off the mound with Al Clark. And maybe one of those deals where Clark's saying one more word out of you and look out.
Jesse Barfield sends one out to left. Mike Greenwell watches it go. The Yankees are on the board.
Perhaps one fastball too many in what many consider Jesse Barfield's blind spot. He tried to go up and in. Again, as he did with 2 pitches, Jesse swung through. There's a breeze blowing out to left. And he got a little help from it, not a whole lot.
Now back live, Alvaro Espinosa sends one high in the air that Tony Pena grabs for the 2nd out. For Barfield, his 7th home run. For the Yankees, the 1st run of the ball game. Espy slams the helmet in the dugout. After starting the season swinging a sizzling bat, he has cooled. And Darwin now has the bases clear with 2 outs.
Well, remember the plan in spring training after Espinosa had the off year with the bat last year, or was the year before an aberration, not sure. The plan was to take Pat Kelly and get him his feet on the ground in Columbus and then gradually move him to shortstop. And Espinosa's bat was hot. And that always becomes a possibility if Espinosa continues to go down. He's still just under 270. Pat Kelly may not be the second baseman of the future. He may still be the shortstop of the future, because then they'd still have to find a third baseman.
Well, they still didn't do anything with him other than play him at second, though, in his time at Columbus.
Well, they didn't, because Espinosa started hitting so well at the start of the season. So then they say, look, we're now getting the defense from Espy, and we're getting some offense too.
Well, then maybe they should have looked at the sack situation and said, let's get him at least a couple of weeks at third before we bring him up to the big show. Kelly's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, Sack's contract complicates the whole thing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I don't know that.
It does. It certainly seems like it could have been handled better. Low.
You mean bringing Kelly up?
Yeah.
It was out of necessity they made the move. They wanted Sacks to try it. He couldn't handle it. But they now want Pat Kelly to get the offensive experience until a position opens up.
Oh, all the things to read in the newspapers today. Pat Kelly, maybe one of the best and most celebrated 223 hitters in a long time that the Yankees have had, but it wasn't the average at all. It was the timeliness of the hits and the selflessness of his play. He grounds out there to Jody Reed. That'll do it for the Yankees. They get on the board on Jesse Barfield's 7th home run of the season. Pasquale is talking about how he'll throw the ball when he gets on the mound again. He's doing a little teaching in there. I'll see you on the post-game report.
I said I was going to be very smart about the next car I buy.
We got a whole lot of value for you. We got a lot of Toyota for you.
And to sell is the Smart Buy. Starting at just $65.88, it's America's lowest price 2-door sedan.
I made a smart choice.
We got a whole lot of for you.
Right now you can save on Corolla, the most trouble-free subcompact car, with option package savings up to $1,000, plus great factory dealer incentives.
Best cars, best trucks, best time.
Got a whole lot of deals for you.
When you want a moment to last, shop at Nobody Beats the Whiz for a videotape that will. Superior picture, superior sound, superior price. Maxell, more than just a pretty picture. On sale at Nobody Beats the Whiz.
I'm Don Mattingly. How would you like a chance to win a day at the ballpark and a great prize package of baseball products for you and your youth league team? All from Franklin Sports, makers of the official batting glove of the major leagues.
You and your team could see a major league game and win Franklin baseball equipment. Send a postcard with your name, address, phone number, and name of your team's coach to P.O. Box JAF, 3210 New York, New York, 10116. All entries will receive a limited edition Franklin souvenir poster.
Our free exhaust inspection covers up to 28 items. Many no bigger than this. Because at Meineke Discount Mufflers, nothing is unimportant.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by your Tri-State Toyota dealers. I love what you do for me, Toyota. Dwayne Stats, Tony Kubek, Al Trotwig moves out to prepare for his post-game show. The Yankees trailing 5-1. Don Mattingly leads. We are checking with Jeff Eiland now to see if Hensley Mullins has played any first base in the minor leagues, but that's where Bam Bam is now.
How about this for a set at the corners? Pat Kelly at third and Hensley Mullins at first.
Yeah. Tony Pena, Jody Reed, Luis Rivera off Eric Plunk. Aside from having an outing struggling, Dave Eiland re-injured the heel covering first base the same way he hurt it a while back. Mullins will get his first chance out of the way in a hurry. I would think more precautionary than anything if they'll take x-rays of Don Mattingly. They have the equipment right in the stadium. Get some ice on it. Start treating it so it doesn't haunt him over the next few days or keep him out too long. Red Sox leading at 5-1. The only run for the Yankees. Barfield's home run with 1 out in the 5th. Jody Reed, he's 2 for 2 in the ball game. Like the bottom 3 hitters for Joe Morgan. Pena just fouled out. Been on base 5 times out of 7 trips to the plate.
You know, he was hitting up in the lineup and struggling, and a little less than a week ago Joe Morgan dropped him down in that lineup. He started to hit. Was leading off yesterday when he had the 4 hits. Back down in the lineup today, and he's continuing to swing the bat well.
1 strike to Jody Reed. One and 1 from Eric Plunk. I believe Mark Connor once again has gotten Eric Plunk's delivery a little more compact. Stays in that little shell and tucks that shoulder. High fastball fouled out of play. 1-2 to Reed. The Red Sox sitting a half a game ahead of the Toronto Blue Jays in the East. Both Boston and Toronto have lost 2 in a row. Yankees trying to come back and sustain a 4-game winning streak. How about Texas? They've now won 13 in a row. Oakland keeps hanging in there. They've won 3 in a row, and they're just a half a game back. Stewart came back, didn't he? Came back strong. Little looper on a 1-2 pitch. He's going to try. No, he's not. Roberto Kelly started jogging in after the ball, and Al Bumbry, the first base coach, who has helped his club as a base running team, especially Alice Burks, had Jody Reed going until he saw the throw coming in. So with 1 out, the Red Sox have 1 on.
And that gives Reed 10 out of his last 19.
3 for 3 in this ball game, and it may be a hit and run situation for Luis Rivera, hitting in the 9th spot. He got a big slop curveball to drive in the run in the 4th. Don't throw too hard to Hensley, Eric. Let him get used to it.
This is not the first time Mullins has ever played first.
32 games at Columbus last year.
Yeah, and in the Dominican League as well in the winter ball.
You talk about a catcher, Pena giving a low target to a pitcher behind the plate. You see Mullins?
Yeah.
Look at Hensley. Ball 1 to Rivera. 1 out, 1 on. 5-1 Red Sox. They scored 3 on 3 hits. A couple of errors in that inning helped the Red Sox offense. Ball by Clark leading off the 2nd. Handcuffed Kelly for an error. It's Pat Kelly. Red Sox came up another in the 4th and 1 more in the 5th.
Rivera continues to play well at shortstop with Nehring out of there. Nehring with the bad back. They've had the magnetic resonance imaging. Diagnostic work done on his back. They really can't zero in, but they're very concerned.
2 balls, no strikes, says home plate umpire Al Clark.
They found that one leg was shorter than the other for Nehring, and they
so that lift he
put
used.
a lift in his left shoe, and they felt that that might help him. But as he struggled at the plate, they began to realize that the back was not completely healthy.
2-0 to Rivera as Plunk continues to worry Jody Reed back to first base. Now he's going to do a little groundskeeping. Larry Barnett to the crew chief uppering at first base. The infamous Larry Barnett to some of the Red Sox fans. Foul out of play. 2-1 now. Red Sox fans, many still remember the call that Larry Barnett made in the armbrister bunt situation. Fisk behind the plate. Fisk thought it was interference, as did Darrell Johnson, the manager.
Boy, incidents like that have a way of
don't say
sticking to you forever in this game.
Visual impressions. That is a famous play in Boston, along with a Fisk home run in Game 6 of the World Series. In fact, to make Game 7 almost seemed to some people like it was anticlimactic. Hall of Famer Joe Morgan drove in a big run in that ball game to center field. Game 7. Hit and run situation with the Red Sox. There he goes. Here comes Noak's throw. It is too high. So on a ball that was close to being a pitch out, not a call one, it goes to 3-1 on Rivera, and the throw gets away from Matt Noakes. So Jody Reed in scoring position with 1 down.
Only the 2nd steal for Reed this year in as many attempts.
Well, you can bet that Joe Morgan, even though he does not have a lot of running speed, a little cut fastball slider. Had Noakes gotten the ball right near around the bag, it still would have been close. Ball 4 to the 9th place hitter. Have the 7, 8, and 9 guys in this lineup. Kind of picnic in Yankee Stadium today.
Well, Reed's 3 for 3 at the number 8 spot. Rivera's been on twice.
7 out of 9 times
3
they've been on base.
Yep. And Pena been on base 2 of the 3 times. Well,
now they turn the lineup over for Ellis Burks.
And when, especially against a Boston lineup, such as they throw at you, you let those guys in that 7, 8, and 9 spot get on base and do some damage. Makes for a long afternoon because you know somewhere 1 through 6, chances are you're going to run into some trouble.
Ellis Burks 0 for 3, trying to sustain a 15-game hitting streak. He had a 15-gamer last season also. That is his career high. 1 strike from Plunk. Ellis Burks talks a lot about Al Bunbury only helping his base running, and although they don't let him run a lot, especially when he's hitting third, it's about Al Bunbury helping him with his defensive play.
Yep.
Cut fastball, foul back, 2 strikes to Burks.
Burks kind of understated about his accomplishments. He was kind of quiet. He considers that he still has room for improvement in the outfield, even though last year he won his first Gold Glove.
It's an unusual stat we just saw in Ellis Burks. Tell you not just his running speed, but it'll tell you he hits the ball in the air more often than not. But this Red Sox team led the American League in grounding into double plays by a lot last year. They grounded into about 174 double plays. This year their pace is not quite as quick as that. Two strikes to Burks with 2 on. Plunk trying to pitch out of a jam. He got him with a breaking ball.
Here's the strikeout pitch. Caught to corner, down around the knees. Al Clark calls Burks out on strikes. The first for Plunk. He's been able to make those pitches, Plunk, in the last 3 outings. Something that he just was not able to do at all through the first part of this year.
After being called out on strikes in the first, facing Dave Eiland, Quintana singled in the third and a leadoff home run in the 5th. The safe sign on the appeal, flashed by Larry Barnett down at first base. A lot of these Red Sox players have learned to hit with men in scoring position by watching Wade Boggs and how he runs the count deep. Doesn't jump on the first pitch unless it's exactly what he wants. Boggs is a terrific batting average. He's about 350 with men in scoring position for his career. Quintana's pretty good at it too. He's over 300 in the last couple of years. 1-1 now to Carlos Quintana. Kind of patience that exudes from Wade Boggs when he's got a bat in his hand rubs off on some of these other hitters. 2-1 now. Wade Boggs. He's got names like Cobb in front of him, Shoeless Joe Jackson, Hornsby. 5th on the all-time list for his career batting average. Slipped 1 notch with his 300, a little over 300 year last year, into the 5th slot. Noakes and Plunk can't get straightened out. The 2-1 count. That man on second base, also one on first. Let's come back in again. It didn't stay in, but had a lot of action on it, didn't it? Sailing away from Carlos Quintana. It's 2-2.
You know, with Plunk's delivery now, I think the ball, he doesn't exactly, he gets the same effect that a short armor gets. Sometimes that ball is right on the hitter before you know it. He's always had that long delivery, but that ball really popped out of his hand, and with that little movement was on the hitter before he knew it.
We've seen that the last 2 outings he's been in, haven't we? Breaking ball that just missed away. Full count, 2 outs. They'll be on the move on the bases. Was this close? That's one of those where if you're a catcher, I think if you just hold it right there and don't move that glove 6 inches or so, and the umpire thinks he's trying to fool me, he might have gotten that call. Fastball, foul out of play.
You can't jerk the ball back and get the umpire to help you.
You watch the catchers with the experience in what they call framing the strike zone. As the pitcher, there's a great expression. The pitcher tries to paint the corners, and the catch like Fisk or Bob Boone when he was around. They just kind of tilt the glove inwardly, and they don't really jerk it, move it too much. 3-2, 2 outs once again. Ground ball, off-speed pitch. Espinosa will throw to Mullins. So Mullins busy, gets the first out on pop up, and now it's a put out. Going to the bottom of the 6th, 5-1 Red Sox.
Sun up, sun down, driving in or out of town. Top looks great, bad driving comfort inside. Off road, on road, taking care of any load. Full time driving fun, you know you've always wanted one. There's only one Jeep, only one Jeep.
There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers.
94 ways to love your baby. 18.
Take your baby out for some fun.
53.
Take your baby to all the best places.
94.
Fill it up, Ultra 94.
When your car's your baby, it deserves a gasoline as special as Sunoco Ultra 94, because only Ultra gives you the highest octane under the sun with great detergency.
28.
Let your baby flex his muscles now and then.
94, Ultra 94. Century Hardware, Super Buy.
Now at Century Hardware, this month's American-made Super Buy is True Temper's Dynalite Shovel. Perfect for gardening. It's guaranteed for life. The True Temper Dynalite Shovel features a carbon steel blade with 2 rivets for added strength and durability. Right now, it's Super Buy priced at just $9.44 while supplies last.
Proudly made in the USA. Century Hardware, Super Buy.
Nobody beats Midas. Nobody. Here's why.
Now get an expert 4-wheel alignment for just $49.95 at Midas.
Tomorrow versus the Red Sox with the Scooter, Tom Terrific, and Bobby Mercer. It'll be Roger Clemens against Tim Leary. Clemens trying to get his 7th win. Leary is 4th. And then on Wednesday, we'll be back here in MSG. Tom Bolton, 5 wins for his Red Sox team against Scott Sanderson, who will be looking for his 6th win in a Yankee uniform. Then the Brewers come in Friday, Saturday, and we'll be back on Sunday at 1 o'clock start.
More super games. What they're looking for.
Eric Plunk appears to be done for the day as Steve Howe starts tuning up. Bottom of the 6th, Roberto Kelly, Steve Sachs, and Mullins, who replaced Don Mattingly after the injured little finger on the right hand by Don. A ball and no strikes from Darwin. 2-0. Yankees looking to get the leadoff hitter on for the 2nd time in this ball game. They had Sachs on in the 4th to try and trigger a rally against the Red Sox and Darwin. 2-1.
Mark Kelly happy to be home, and again this year the same difference. 89-90, you can see much better here at Yankee Stadium. Same thing this year.
Greenwell should have it. He broke back and then picked the ball up, so there's 1 out in the 6th. As Roberto Kelly goes down. That'll be Sachs, a fly ball to right and a walk.
Already hearing from the Red Sox about the chemistry on this team. Well, they feel that they're having more fun playing the game, coming to the ballpark this year than some of the clubs in recent years. It's one of the reasons. That, and they feel their pitching's probably better than some people give it credit for.
Well, last year they were in the top 5 in ERA. And all the other ball clubs are Western Division clubs. So it wasn't the slugging of the Red Sox and the home runs that got them where they were. There was a lot of pitching and pretty steady defense. 1 strike to Steve Sachs. couple hops. Rivera, snap throw, 2 outs, bottom of the 6th.
Just straightforward play by Rivera on that chop by Sachs.
One of those situations where a Red Sox shortstop Spike Owen goes up to Montreal, and he really helped that ball club. He hit him in the A spot. He maintained a high on-base percentage. He can do some things steady, and you get Rivera here and fit in the plans in Montreal. And he's been a very steady shortstop, enabling them and allowing them to put Jody Reed at second, even though Nehring had the job coming out of spring training and at the end of last year.
Well,
1 strike to Mullins.
Could be a tough at bat for Mullins against Darwin.
He is in a deeper crouch than normal. Popped up to the right side. Reed yells, "I got it." It's 3 up, 3 down inning in the bottom of the 6th for the Yankees. We'll be going to the 7th, where Dwayne Statz will take you the rest of the way. The Red Sox leading 5-1. Hey, look at this kid.
Trying to show some speed, and with a bad throw, he's there.
Second time he's done that this year.
Enjoy tomorrow's technology today. Laserdisc movies are 60% sharper than VHS and have digital sound.
And enjoy your favorite movies on brand name televisions. We carry a wide variety of electronics, TVs, VCRs, stereo components, camcorders, and we rent Laserdisc movies. We also have a wide selection of appliances, from washers and dryers to built-in refrigerators.
Just call it the make and model and ask Mr. G.
Come to Parkway Toyota in Englewood Cliffs. Our modern service department is now installing genuine Toyota mufflers, shocks, and struts with the Toyota Lifetime Guarantee. Come in for details. And while you're here, shop our fully equipped parts department for genuine Toyota parts and accessories. Whether you have a ding, a dent, or even a major collision, Parkway Toyota's modern body shop will make your car look like new again. Parkway Toyota, where customer satisfaction comes first, before, and after you buy your car. Parkway Toyota, because we give you more.
Be a winner at Legends of Sport. We are the area's largest supplier of officially licensed sports apparel, from infants to adult sizes. We feature brand names like Starter, Apex One, and DeLong jackets, T-shirts, sweatshirts, and shorts by Champion, The Game, Nutmeg, and Salem Screen, plus authentic baseball, hockey, and football jerseys. We carry a large selection of caps, baseball cards, hard-to-find gift items, and memorabilia. So be a winner at Legends of Sport in the Linwood Shopping Center, Fort Lee.
On the Budweiser game recap, the Red Sox jumped out in front. Bruninski sacrifice fly in the second made it 1-0. Pena triple homer run, and Jody Reed with a double and a run batted in. In the 4th, Rivera singled one home, and Quintana belted a 5th inning home run before the Yankees got on the board. Jesse Barfield hitting his 7th home run of the year in the bottom of the 5th inning to make it 5-1. And that's how we stand as we move into the 7th. The Yankees have a new pitcher. Lefty Steve Howe makes his 7th appearance following Eiland and Plunk. And he faces Wade Boggs, throws him a strike.
He pitched an inning and 3rd in yesterday's extra inning game in Baltimore.
So Plunk worked an inning and 2/3 in relief of Eiland. A little close, moving Boggs back, and the count is 1-1. Eiland 4 1/3, charged with all 5 runs, 4 of which were earned. He made 66 pitches, and now Plunk has, for the last 3 times out, thrown the ball well. He's been able to throw the breaking ball for strikes. He's had good stuff, good velocity, good movement. By the mound, tough play for Sachs, barehanded pickup, and he got it.
He didn't have to do it barehanded, but it looked prettier.
With Boggs going down the line, Sachs had a little extra time and made the play.
Well, they are hoping the competition and the level of play that Pat Kelly displayed for those 5 games at second will, and it's not saying that Steve Sachs did not try hard, he does, but they hope that it'll just be a little extra he'll give them in every area, especially defensively.
Jack Clark lines it into right, and Barfield is there to make the catch. So Clark, who hit the ball hard back in the 3rd when he lined into a double play, lines out to right here in the 7th. Two gone.
You don't see Jack Clark jump on first pitches real often. He likes to work a pitcher a lot. He's done it at least twice today.
Yep. When he lined to Mattingly and hit into the double play.
He fouled a pitch off.
That was on the first pitch.
Yeah, fouled off a pitch in the first swing. Another at bat.
A wave and a miss by Greenwell. Strike one. Pretty good stuff on that one from Steve Howe. Howe made 2 appearances on the road trip. Pitched 2 innings in Cleveland. And then the stint yesterday that Tony referred to. 1-1. Red Sox 24-17. Up in the East by half a game. The Yankees 17-23 on the year. Hit on Greenwell.
I would guess the first time through the league that Steve Howe's going to surprise a few hitters. You can see Greenwell couldn't catch up to that last fastball, and Howe, not a very big guy, but the way the fastball gets on these hitters is very impressive.
This one into left. Hall cutting to his left is there to make the grab, and a 1-2-3 inning for Steve Howe in the 7th. Quick inning as it turns out. We move into the bottom half of inning 7 from Yankee Stadium, with the Red Sox leading the Yankees 5-1.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never let you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it, you know you've got it right. 'Cause everything else is just a light. Just keep your Bud Light shining. Everything else is just a light. You got to shine on. Everything else is just a light.
Finding writers to join the best new sports section in New York hasn't been easy.
Most triples in a season, New York Mets.
And Mookie Wilson.
First draft choice for the Knicks in '67.
Walt Frazier.
Most shutouts, New York Yankees.
Whitey Ford.
How far down the left field line in Wrigley Field?
350 feet.
355. Get out of here.
The bigger, bolder sports section of the Times. Every day, everything New York, everything sports. Now in the New York Times.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that eye that takes your breath away? That's a taste of real refreshment. That's the real love Diet Coke. That's a taste of real refreshment. Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
At Meineke Discount Mufflers, one thing we never discount is service. Because at Meineke, nothing is unimportant.
This copyrighted telecast is authorized under rights granted by the New York Yankees solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Yankees and Madison Square Garden Network is prohibited. We're moving into the bottom of the 7th. The Yankees are down by 4, facing Danny Darwin, who through 6 innings has made 70 pitches, allowing a run on just 2 hits. And Kevin Moss takes the first one down and away.
Joe Morgan couldn't be happier that he's got Danny Darwin to the 7th inning at least, because his bullpen has worked pretty hard in Detroit, especially his left-handers.
Moss under this one, lofts it into short right. Reed out, and now makes the catch just on the rim of the outfield grass.
You'd like to have those left-handers in your bullpen ready to go because of Yankee Stadium, this left-handed power on this Yankee team. And yesterday, Hesketh, left-hander, went 4 1/3 innings. 2 1/3 yesterday by Tony Fossis, the other left-hander. So Darwin giving him this has been a big plus.
On the Wiz out-of-town scoreboard, Detroit leading Milwaukee 3-1 in the 6th. Mets and the Cubs are tied 1-1 in the 4th at Wrigley. Here's Mel Hall. Well, Darwin in his first start since coming off the disabled list threw 57 pitches in 5 innings against Milwaukee. Hall hits one high and deep to right, and this baby's gone.
Upper deck.
Hall belts one out. He hit the game-tying home run yesterday, and that's number 6. Mel Hall. Tremendous shot to right for Hall. And it's 5-2.
This guy at the end of last season was one of those who the consensus among some of the people in the organization was we want him out of here before this year. He's become one of the most popular players in the clubhouse and with Stump Merrill. And this catches the corner of the upper deck. We should get a reading on that baby with that new system they have here.
Well, Bill Fisher comes out of the Red Sox dugout now. Action in the Red Sox bullpen. It's the 4th home run Darwin has given up this year, the 2nd today. Barfield got him in the 5th.
So what Billy Fisher tells Darwin is this very simply. That ball was hit about 400, but not as far as the one Mantle hit about 100 feet higher off me. That'd be a real confidence booster.
Yeah, that's right.
Billy was talking about it today. In fact, Jeff Gray, who's leading the American League in appearances, he's one of those who has somewhat of a fresh arm. Down in that bullpen, we talked about Fossas and Hesketh, each pitching yesterday, extended periods of time. The day before, Lamp went a little over 3 innings.
To Mel Hall, now 21 runs batted in. He takes over the club lead.
Well, I'm sure that Joe Morgan would like to only finish this game with his closer, Jeff Reardon, if at all possible.
Matt Noakes takes a strike.
Give his setup man a little bit of a rest.
They're saying 4:15. Pretty good shot by Hall. 415 feet. The count is 1-1.
With Darwin's excellent control, last year he averaged just under 2 walks per 9 innings. So many of the home runs off him come with nobody on base, and that's what's happened today. He didn't give you any free passes.
Well, Hall and Noakes barely missed hitting home runs, I thought, back in the 2nd inning when they hit those fly balls to right field and got under him just a little bit. Well, Hall connected and hit one out. They projected at 415. They had Barfield, who hit the home run back in the 5th inning at 407. It bounced into the Red Sox bullpen. High pop up. Quintana, foul territory. 2 gone.
See, one thing, the left-handed hitters have not had difficulty getting the barrel out and pulling him. They've just been pulling him a little bit too high in the air.
Well, here's Jesse Barfield. Jesse's home run in the 5th inning hit right in front of the Red Sox bullpen in left center and then bounced into the bullpen. I wasn't able to tell if John McLaren, who's the bullpen coach, picked up that home run ball or not. But there's a connection between these two. When Jesse broke into pro ball in 1977 at Utica. Oh, there's a drive. He has belted another one. Barfield hits this one into the bullpen and against the back wall. It bounced up against the back wall. What a shot by Barfield. His 2nd home run. And it's 5-3. And that's going to be it for Darwin. The signal came from the bullpen. When that ball landed in the bullpen, the signal came that the right-hander Gray is ready.
It just came a little short of landing on the canopy where the pitcher set. And you got to bet that baby's close to 440 feet.
A tremendous shot. And the Yankees are within 2. Here it is.
Oh, out over the plate and in Jesse's zone. What carry this ball had, and it came close to hitting Jeff Gray.
You see,
bullpen. It was like maybe 40 feet to the front of Jeff Gray, who was loosening up. That was really a monster.
Well, Barfield, playing home run derby, has hit his 2nd of the day. He's sending a message to John McLaren, his first manager in pro ball. John, before the game, said he had him at Utica. He said he came in one day and Jesse looked so down. He thought he might have lost him. He said he looked dejected. Jesse was homesick. He says, boy, I really miss my mother. And they said, well, let's call her right now. He did. They're projecting that at 407. No,
get out.
No way. I think they projected the first one at 407. Well, that's it.
And you knew it was going to be tough for Jesse to break out of his slump against this guy. That's what I thought.
Oh, yeah. We'll be back with the new Red Sox pitcher. Yankee fans, let Rickle take you out to the ball game in style in the Rickle Trip to the Stars sweepstakes. Stop by any Rickle Home Center and you could win the grand prize, a first-class trip for two to Los Angeles on American Airlines to see the Yankees take on the Angels. You'll stay at the Beverly Hilton, tour Paramount Studios, and attend the Arsenio Hall show. Runner-up prize is an evening for two at Yankee Stadium. Enter today at any Rickle Home Center. Remember, Rickle helps you do it better than ever for less.
Hi, I'm Tim Paulson, Vice President of Hair Club for Men, and of course, I'm also a client. I'm proud to announce that Hair Club has just made a dramatic improvement in our strand-by-strand system of hair replacement, the Polyfuse method. Call our toll-free number now and we'll send you our new brochure describing in detail our latest innovation, the Polyfuse method.
So why call it Polyfuse? Because by applying a polymer to your existing hair, it will literally fuse with the new hair we add. And believe me, even when I run my fingers through Sean's hair, it still feels natural, like his own. Even when the hair blows around. It looks very natural. Even when wet, Gerard's hair still looks like it's all his own.
So make sure you call our toll-free number now to find out more about our dramatic improvement, the Polyfuse method from Hair Club for Men.
Don't forget, we stand behind it. And remember, I'm not only the Hair Club president, but I'm also a client.
Yankees right back in this game. Alvaro Espinoza up there, and he takes the first pitch for a ball. 2 home runs off Darwin in this inning. He's gone after 6 2/3 and allowing 3 runs all on the long ball. 2 home runs by Barfield and 1 by Mel Hall.
That home run will give a pitcher a whiplash if he tried to follow that baby out.
Oh, man. What a shot. The second home run by Barfield.
Jeff Gray with a fork ball.
Down to short. Rivera throws him out. Rivera to Quintana. The Yankees settle for the 2 runs on the 2 long home runs. If only they paid off on distance. At the end of 7, 5-3 Red Sox.
When you play the game, you're looking good. That's the Bud Light way, that's understood.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never let you down.
You can taste it, you can feel it, you know you got it right. 'Cause everything else is just the light. Just keep your Bud Light shining. Everything else is just the light. You got to shine on. Everything else is just
Jerry Cosby and Madison Square Garden, 2 great names in New York sports. Cosby's carries official pro equipment and apparel for baseball, basketball, football, and hockey.
Jerry Cosby's, the professional's choice.
Cosby's offers the highest quality. Brand names such as CCM 651 skates, Starter sportswear, and Cooper equipment.
Cosby's is the only place I go for my hockey gear.
The next time you need authentic sports gear, think only of Jerry Cosby, with locations at the Garden, Princeton, New Jersey, and Westbury, Long Island.
When you need to know, listen for traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on WCBS News Radio 88. Traffic and weather together.
Our free exhaust inspection covers up to 28 items. Many no bigger than this. Because at Meineke Discount Mufflers, nothing is unimportant.
Want to turn your Memorial Day into a party? Memorial Day? No problem. Nobody beats the Wiz.
A Motorcraft spark plug has to fire 500 times a minute. Over its life, that's a spark 5 miles long. Shouldn't you install that peace of mind? Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Tickets for all Yankee home games on sale at the Yankee Stadium advanced ticket window, open Monday through Saturday 9 to 5 and Sunday 10 to 5. Tickets may also be purchased at the Yankees Clubhouse store and at all Ticketmaster ticket centers, including all Soundorama stores. Ring Day is coming up for fans 14 and under Saturday against the Brewers at 1:30. Tom Bruninski leads off the 8th. Steve Howe on the mound for the Yankees. It's a 2-run game now, and Bruninski sends a fly ball into center for Roberto Kelly. And he takes care of that one for the out. Barfield with 2 home runs today. Got a nice reception from the fans in right field, and likewise Hall in left for his tremendous shot in the 7th. Jesse hit the home run in the 5th, and then the tremendous blast in the bottom of the 7th inning. He did that once last year, a 2-home run day. In April of last year, he got number 199 and 200 off Randy Johnson of the Seattle Mariners here at Yankee Stadium. 2 home runs today. Here's Tony Pena, and Howe let it out. Strike 1. Pena tripled and scored in the 2nd, walked and scored in the 4th, fouled the 1st in the 6th inning.
Now Pena late on a fastball, and he knew it, and it was over his head. And he's going to try and start the battle. He still wields that very heavy bat. I think it's still in the high 30 ounces, 38 or so. He may good time for an off-speed pitch.
And he got it over. Strike 2 call. The Yankees have been out hit 8-4. Outscored 5-3. This one high, a ball and 2 strikes. The crowd starting to get into this game here in the 8th. Those 2 home runs by the Yankees in the bottom of the 7th inning have ignited some enthusiasm. Down to first, knocked down by Mullins, and the toss to Howe in time. So Mullins playing first base, knocked it down. 2 gone.
And he made sure he was in front of it, and it would not skitter between his legs. He was going to lie on top of it if he had to. 2 strikes. Pena becomes more of a right field hitter when he's behind in the count. And he slaps her down and makes a nice feed to Steve Howe.
Jody Reed is 3 for 3.
Part of the lineup that has killed the Yankees pitchers today. 7, 8, and 9th place hitters. Look out.
That's close. 1-0. Reed got off to a slow start. Found himself chasing bad pitches, swinging at pitches high out of the strike zone and wide. But Reed defined the strike zone for himself and has been hot lately. He takes a strike. Average is at 229 right now.
And more we've seen Stump Merrill beginning to get some definition and job assignments out of the bullpen. Early on, he was criticized even by some of his players and us, I guess, but there weren't a whole lot of situations available, which were save situations, setup situations. He was just trying to give people work. And more he's getting a feel for what this bullpen is about.
And he was running around trying to put out fires. He was getting no starting pitching at all, with the exception of an occasional good start. Now that's changed a little bit. It's given him an opportunity for some organization on the staff.
Well, when this last road trip started, the bullpen was averaging about 4 innings per ball game, and with the starting pitching getting better, it went down to about 3 innings per ball game. He doesn't have to plow snow anymore up in the Massachusetts area, since he's got a nice lucrative contract and done a good job with the Red Sox.
An interesting contrast in managing styles here, I think, from Morgan to Merrill. Stump makes a lot of changes. Of course, the makeup of your club will dictate a lot of that. 2-2. And from the Red Sox perspective, there's Jeff Reardon doing some exercises for that back.
He's been rolling around on his back on the grass for about the last half inning. Thinking if Gray can go a little farther in the 8th inning, and he'll close it out if necessary.
Too close. Full count.
Boy, Steve Howe pitches inside nicely, doesn't he? They're both right and left-handers. That pitch that he will use sometimes right about letter high, not in the head area, just to get those hitters off the outside corner.
And he popped him up. Foul ball. Mullins calling for it, and he's got it to retire the side. He got in on Reed and retired him for the first time in this game. 1, 2, 3 go the Red Sox. We're headed into the bottom of the 8th from Yankee Stadium. 5-3 Boston.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up and never let you down.
Well, you can taste it, you can feel it, you know you got
Take your baby out for some fun.
53.
Take your baby to all the best places.
94.
Fill it up. Ultra 94.
When your car's your baby, it deserves a gasoline as special as Sunoco Ultra 94. Because only Ultra gives you the highest octane under the sun with great detergency.
28.
Let your baby flex his muscles now and then.
94. Ultra 94.
Hey kids, there's a lot to be excited about at Yankee Stadium this summer. And if you think these guys are having fun, then wait and see what the Yankees have in store for you. On Saturday night, June 8th, all fans 14 and under at the stadium will take home a replica Yankee batting helmet, compliments of Del Wood. And on Sunday afternoon, June 9th, they'll walk away with a Coca-Cola Yankee bat. It's a weekend filled with great baseball and giveaways. So get your tickets now.
See an encore play of today's Yankees-Boston Red Sox game. Tonight at 7:30 here on MSG Network.
Tonight at 11, catch Lisa Burkhardt at MSG's Sports Desk. It'll be on at 11 tonight. The 30-minute edition comes around on Sundays right here on MSG Network, the best in the game.
Might be a time for Pat Kelly to try and start something going with a bunt, even though they're looking for it at the corners. Boggs and Quintana. He's a pretty good bunter, this guy.
We go into the bottom of the 8th, and Pat Kelly leads off. He'll be followed by Roberto Kelly and Steve Sachs, facing Jeff Gray, who is the vendor's best friend.
Yeah.
When it comes to pitching, he takes a lot of time out there. And Kelly looks at a strike.
You know, we've seen Pat Kelly driving important runs to this point, but we have not yet seen his versatility with a bat in his hand. Excellent bunter. If you had to, you could squeeze with him in critical situations. A good hit and run man. Hit behind the runner very well.
Leading off, trying to get out of the 8th. 1 ball and 1 strike. Gray on for the 24th time. 28 years old, 1-3 with a .233 earned run average. He was released by the Phillies, picked up by the Red Sox. They sent him to Pawtucket, and he contributed to the Red Sox before the year was out in a big way. Fly ball to center. Burks settles under it.
Well, last year, Billy Fisher, the pitching coach, took a pitching staff where they had 4 or 5 at one time or another. Pitchers were released by other ball clubs. And just other people gave up on them, and they got here, and all of a sudden they started, you know, Harris, and Gray, and name a few others.
Well, Gray was in 41 games last year and saved 9. Was 2-4. He spent some time in the Cincinnati organization briefly. Matter of fact, made 5 appearances with the Reds in '88. Out of Florida State. Here's Roberto Kelly.
Well, he's another one who will tell you that the split-fingered fastball made the difference. We saw the first pitch splitter to Pat Kelly, and we just see one to start Roberto off with. Something with a little more movement, change of speed, creates a good arm action for you.
Sachs will be next. The Yankees need a base runner to get the tying run to the plate. This one bounces away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yankees have won 4 straight. They fell behind 5-0 in this game. Lee Guterman throwing in the bullpen for the Yankees.
You know, the other day, Lee Guterman, and Michael Cain was telling this in the post-game interview, was more emotional than anybody ever seen him. And I think that's directly related to Pasquale and Steve Howe and this staff. Pasquale with the energy on the bench and starting, and Steve Howe, who never sits still. And I think stuff like that is catching, and you get that feeling of vibrancy from these two guys. And I think it carried over into Guterman.
Kelly skies one to center. Burks back. The ball is carrying, but Burks will have room, and just at the edge of the track, holds it in. Fly ball to deep center, but not deep enough from Roberto Kelly's perspective.
Gray has allowed 4 home runs so far this year in just a little over 27 innings. But if you keep using the big part of the ballpark and keep the ball away as he does, you got a pretty good chance. The Spark and even Fenway at right center field, and that little corner well in center field.
Now Burks has a Gold Glove behind him in center field, and he's made use of him, facing Pat and Roberto Kelly in the 8th. Here's Steve Sachs. A strike. Sachs shortening on the bat. I think you're right about Perez. Not only has he given the Yankees 3 good starts, but he brought some life to the clubhouse. Frankly, it was dead in the clubhouse before he arrived. Now there's a lot of chirping going on.
And people respect Pascual's knowledge of pitching. We showed a shot earlier on the bench where Scott Sanderson was going to pitch in this series, and Pascual Perez were comparing forkballs.
Yep.
Perez had that when he came over from the National League, and Scott Sanderson picked it up when he from Dave Duncan with Oakland. Well, we had experimented with it a little bit before that.
1-1 to count.
I'm going to wear my hair like that
Good.
next year. That's.
Why wait till next year? Another foul ball. 1 and 2.
I'm going to borrow a couple thousand ounces of his gold jewelry.
A Mako.
Wow.
Now, that conjures up some great mental images, believe me. You might come out of this with your own show.
It'll be like Pat Riley fluffing his hair up and Costa slicking his down after the free throw shooting contest, huh?
A day-to-day status on Mattingly, and they're calling it a jammed finger. There's a foul ball out of play, holding the count at 1 and 2. They had precautionary X-rays, so we anticipate they were negative, and the initial word is a jammed finger. Mattingly day-to-day. Hensley Mullins is on deck. He entered the game in the 6th at first base, replacing Mattingly after Mattingly had sustained that injury in the 1st inning. Sachs behind in the count.
Be something if the Yankees could come back in this game without their captain, huh?
Oh yeah, there's
another big
liner to first, caught by Quintana, reaching out, and Sachs pounds the helmet to the ground after hitting the line drive, only to see Quintana grab it. 1-2-3 go the Yankees in the 8th against Gray. So we're headed into the 9th from Yankee Stadium with a score 5-3, Boston on top. There's a shot hit deep to right. He will put the Yankees out in front. Don Mattingly has belted his first home run of the year.
If you need glasses or an eye exam too, just pick up the phone and dial 31 I do. You've lost a contact lens and don't know what to do? Pick up the phone and dial 31 I do. Looking for frames and a fashion that's right for you? Call us now at 31 I do. We accept most insurance and Medicaid too. You know the number, it's 31 I do. Dr. Alan Ross, the frame and lens, that's who. You know how, it's 31 I do. Call today.
So, you say you want variety in the health club. Get a load of this. How's that for variety?
That's a workout.
Join now and save 50%. The Spa at Glen Point. Why give your wallet a workout? Call for an appointment. 836-5400. Call now. 836-5400.
Young and old in North Jersey are getting involved in the fun of paintball here at Indoor Paintball just off Route 80 South Hackensack.
Have your next birthday or office party here.
Spectators admitted free.
We provide the gun and all the equipment to safely enjoy the game. If you come alone, we'll put you on a team. Wow, even I can play.
For a great party and adventure close to home, experience the excitement of indoor paintball. Call 1-800-334-5555.
Indoor Paintball. You have to see it to believe it.
We have a 2-run ball game at Yankee Stadium heading into the 9th inning. 5-3, the Red Sox leading the Yankees. 2 perfect innings in relief for Steve Howe, and he is replaced by Lee Guterman.
The last couple of years, you couldn't have found a steadier pitcher, especially out of the bullpen in Lee Guterman, and looks like he may be on his way again to a near 100 innings out of the bullpen. He had 103 in 89 and 93, even though he was hurt a couple of weeks last year. And he's starting to get better and better again, too.
So Guterman, with an earned run average of less than 1.5, makes his 18th appearance.
Again, we've got one of those situations for Stumpman of the Yankees where he's into his 1, 2, 3, 4th pitcher.
Yep. He utilized 5 pitchers yesterday. Plunk, Howe, Habian, and Canteray followed Carey. And now Plunk, Howe, and Guterman have followed Eiland to the hill this afternoon. Guterman made 2 appearances in the Baltimore series and picked up a save. Luis Rivera, the hitter, in ball 1 to count. Rivera has been on base twice. An RBI single in the 4th and a walk in the 6th inning. He goes the other way, and Barfield is there to make a fine running catch. Barfield cutting to his left directly toward the right field line.
It's one of the reasons why the general manager, Gene Michael, is so in love with Jesse Barfield. Even when he's not hitting, and he's got the 2 HRs today, he does so much for you defensively. The fear of his throwing arm, shutting down rallies with a great jump as he just got on that one.
Here's Ellis Burks. Burks 0 for 4 and taps this one. This could be a tough play. They're going to let it roll, and it will go foul. Strike 1. Burks has that 15-game hitting streak going. 0 for 4 so far in this one, and Guterman decided to let it roll foul. The Red Sox bullpen continues to be busy, and Jeff Reardon apparently all set to enter this one.
Now, he started warming up as soon as Jeff Gray left the mound, so he's going to come in and close it. Now, I was looking at the American League stats, and the only team in the American League that has more relief appearances in the bullpen, of course, the Oakland A's. With 105 coming in, the Yankees 100. Remember, Oakland's starting pitching's been torn up, and their bullpen's been torn up pretty badly also.
Burks takes a pitch down. 1-1. Well, that's why the Yankees so desperately needed to get the starting pitching straightened out so that they could get some innings from the starters. This one bounced foul.
And one of the things we saw on the road trip, too, where Stumpman was pretty intent on matchups in close ball games, left-hander against left-hander in Baltimore. Unlike a few games before that, when he took Canteray out when a left-hander came to the plate, he let him pitch to some right-handed hitters. He's learning more and more what his pitching staff can do, and if he continues to do that as the season progresses, who gets which opposition hitters out, he may start saving some of these relief appearances.
Bouncer to short. Espinosa. Low throw, but Mullins comes up with it. So Burks is 0 for 5, and it would seem, unless this game would extend beyond the regulation 9, that the hitting streak may stop at 15.
Stumpman's going to have to make a decision. He's got Mullins leading off the 9th. And, against Jeff Reardon, who is one of the best closers. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but still you'd like to, a 2-run ball game now, maybe get a left-handed bat there. You've got Lavello, who has gotten lost, as is Pat Sheridan on the bench.
Here's Quintana. He takes it to right. Jesse is there. 1, 2, 3. Go the Red Sox in the 9th. So a perfect inning for Guterman, and that carries it into the Yankee half the 9th. The Yankees need 2 to keep it going. 5-3 Boston.
Finding writers to join the best new sports section in New York hasn't been easy.
Most triples in a season, New York Mets.
And Mookie Wilson.
First draft choice for the Knicks in '67.
Walt Frazier.
Most shutouts, New York Yankees.
Whitey Ford.
How far down the left field line in Wrigley Field?
350 feet.
355. Get out of here.
The bigger, bolder sports section of the Times. Every day, everything New York, everything sports. Now in the New York Times.
I always made a good salary, but I never knew where my money went. I didn't have time to keep track of my accounts. Then I went to Citibank, got Citi One. It's checking, savings, a credit card, all connected. So it's easy to transfer money, easy to get information day or night, and I don't worry about bouncing checks. Once I thought I did.
Hello, Citibank. Can I help you?
I was covered. They saved my life.
Citi One, making it easy to manage your money day to day. Not just banking,
City banking.
For better bat control, there's only one glove crafted with Petard's digital Cabretta leather. Franklin. The official batting glove of Major League Baseball.
At Meineke Discount Mufflers, one thing we never discount is service. Because at Meineke, nothing is unimportant.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by Franklin Batting Gloves, the official batting glove of Major League Baseball. Yankee Stadium this afternoon, crowd of better than 32,000. There you go. Yankee fans. The Yankees are down by 2 as we go into the bottom half of inning 9. And Jeff Reardon, the closer for the Boston Red Sox, enters the game, the third Boston pitcher. Reardon with 301 career saves.
Only 4 pitchers in Major League history have had 300 or more. Raleigh Fingers leads the list at 341. Remember, Raleigh Fingers just missed getting into baseball's Hall of Fame this past year. When his fastball's not crackling, he has an excellent curveball also, Jeff Reardon. And Mullins swinging the bat well over his last 8 starts, over 300. He's going to hit.
So it'll be Mullins, then Moss and Hall to hit against Reardon. And a foul ball, strike 1. Reardon, the premier closer for the Red Sox. You take a staff and start with Clemens and add Reardon, you're a long way toward a lot of success.
Yeah, you've got your number 1 and you've got your number 10 if you got a 10-man staff. And in between, you got some room to maneuver.
1-1 to count. And a base hit. Mullins pops a single in the hole between short and third.
Looked like a high breaking ball, and Hensley jumped all over.
So Mullins, who had popped out in the 6th inning, singles to open the bottom of the 9th. And the Yankee fans are looking for some thunder in the bottom of the 9th.
Was that a fastball or was that a slider that straightened out? It did not have the velocity of a Jeff Reardon normal fastball, which can approach the 90 mile. Well, there was a slider just backed up on it.
Here's Kevin Moss. Moss is 0 for 3. So the Tig runs at the plate. And Reardon strikes him with a breaking ball for a strike. The veteran Jeff Reardon. 3 and 4 lifetime against the Yankees. 9 of his 301 saves against the Yankees. Moss with a tap, foul. He's in the hole. 0-2.
When you're a team, as Don Mattingly told Al Trautwig in his pregame interview, that is gaining confidence, it's the sign of a team that has the ability to come back. Don't know if the Yankees will today, but they've got the bats there that they need now, the left-handed bats. And it's one of the great closers ever.
Reardon, 35 years old. Ahead of Moss. Here it is. And Moss, a shot. Knocks Reardon's glove off, and he'll have no play. Moss, on an 0-2 pitch, lined it right back at Reardon, who got that glove up there to protect himself. Lost the glove, and everybody's safe. So the Yankees have put the first 2 men aboard, and Mel Hall, who's been swinging a hot bat, is going to be next.
This is scary to even a veteran pitcher. Fastball over the plate, heading right for his head, and somehow Reardon gets the glove there, and it rolls far enough away. Hustling Kevin Moss beats it out. Oh man, they're out there trying to settle Jeff Reardon down.
Pena out there. Reed and Rivera in. Al Clark goes out, checks things out, the plate umpire. That had to be some sight for Reardon.
Boy.
As he got that glove up there to protect himself. Mel Hall homered in the 7th inning. First and second with nobody out.
What a great crowd this is.
Two to keep it going, and the crowd really into this.
This typifies what a Red Sox-Yankees series is, either here or up in Fenway.
Down and in, and a stop by Pena. Pena came up with that pitch to prevent a possible move up by Mullins and Moss.
This ball comes very close, a sweeping breaking ball, and hitting Mel Hall on the foot. And a nice play by Pena. Keeping Moss at first base. He's the important one. He's the tying run.
And Frank Howard leading the charge from the dugout. 0-2 is down and in. 2-0 the count.
I'll tell you, the guy's coming up now against Reardon, and he knows that Hall and Noakes will give you tough at bats. And with that short right field fence, it was a little tougher for Jeff Reardon. 2 pull hitters.
5-3 ball game. The Yankees at one time trail 5-0. And a foul ball. 2-1.
What was that? 2 balls, no strikes. It almost looked like a fork ball.
Yep, it was
something off speed.
And a little ripple in it.
Reardon knew that Mel Hall was sitting on a fastball 2-0. That's what Hall hit off Greg Olson yesterday. 2 curveballs missed, 2-0. It was in the seats.
Well, he's been working on that changeup a little bit more this spring. And he gave Hall a little something new to consider on the 2-0 pitch. Now it's 2-1. And a foul ball bounced down the right side. So the count is square, 2-2. Frank's into this.
The world's biggest cheerleader. I don't mean just in size. I mean being vocal and all else. The outfield from Boston are playing deep now. They don't want an extra base hit to score that runner from first.
2-2. Drive deep to right. If it's fair, it's a fair ball. Mel Hall has hit a 3-run home run, and the Yankees win 6-5. This crowd does not believe what it sees. The Yankees down 5-0. Battle back, trailed by 2 in the bottom of the 9th, and Mel Hall in a 2-2 pitch down the right field line, and the Yankees win 6-5. There's some spirit in Perez right in the middle of it. Hall homered in the 7th and again in the 9th.
The Red Sox losing streak lengthens, and the Yankees winning streak increases by 1 more.
Yankees have won 5 in a row.
With their captain, Don Mattingly, leaving early with a finger injury.
Fans aren't leaving.
Hensley Mullins picks it up to start it off.
There's some spirit in that dugout. Wow. Moss embracing Hall. Boy, and there's a curtain call. The fans wanting Hall out. It's been a long time since the Yankee dugout has been this excited, and a long time since they've seen this kind of spirit from a big crowd. Over 32,000 at Yankee Stadium. Mel Hall, who yesterday in Baltimore hit the game-tying home run and sent it into extra innings as the Yankees won at 11. Hall wins it on the home run off Reardon in the bottom of the 9th this afternoon.
A breaking ball that Mel Hall knew instantaneously. Did you see Pena? He also knew. When you do it off one of the best in the business, Jeff Reardon, it makes it something extra special. What a ball game, huh?
A big one for the Yankees.
Down 5-0.
They haven't had a game like this in the last couple years. Down, facing the first place Red Sox, trailing 5-0 at the end of 4.5, and they did it with a long ball.
Mel Hall will get
4 home runs.
Mel Hall will get a lot of these fans back after that, won't he?
Oh, you better believe it. Barfield 2 home runs, and Hall hit 2.
How about the relief pitching again, too?
Well,
after Eiland struggle, hurts himself, and in comes Plum. And in comes Howe. And then Guterman finishes it off and shut the Red Sox offense down. And it is a darn good one, hitting very well.
And for the Yankees, more of the same out of that bullpen. But the home run, the big blow today, and the New York Times play of the game. Mel Hall's home run. And the celebration that followed. Nothing like fun at the old ballpark.
And more players like Hensley Mullins being allowed to stay and hit. He's in a pretty good hitting streak off. Jeff Reardon starts it off, and when the kids start doing it, then Moss, who's had difficulty driving and runs in that 4th spot, almost beheaded Jeff Reardon, capped off by Hall.
So victory for the Yankees to extend the winning streak. 6-5 the final. Back in a moment.
Good times with friends, hey, they're special. Sometimes you wish they would never end. The care you show is just as special. Friends know when to say when.
The family of Budweiser beers is proud of all the friendships they've helped make. So when they remind you to please use a designated driver, it's all in the name of friendship.
Friends know when to say when.
If your car pulls to one side, if your steering wheel is off-center, your car could be out of alignment. At Midas, trained professionals with the latest technology align your car right. Before your tires show uneven wear, have your alignment checked. Or you could be shortening tire life and taking risks. You see, we're serious about safety. Hey, nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
Now get an expert 4-wheel alignment for just $49.95 at Midas.
2-1 on Dave Henderson. There he goes. Pitches a ball, and the throw is in time. Matt Noakes throws him out.
Mary, what are you doing here? I thought you had cataract surgery yesterday.
I did, and today I can't believe my eyes.
Until recently, cataract surgery took weeks for recovery, but the new no-stitch cataract surgery allows you to return to your normal lifestyle almost immediately.
Well, Mary, do you think you're up to 4 miles today?
You bet I am.
For a free brochure about no-stitch and single-stitch cataract surgery, call Dr. Joseph Delarusso, 384-7333.
So, you say you want variety in the health club. Get a load of this. How's that for variety?
That's a workout.
Join now and save 50%. The Spa at Glen Point. Why give your wallet a workout? Call for an appointment. 836-5400. Call now. 836-5400.
Hi, Dad.
Boy, you look great.
Thanks. Oh, I'm in a hurry. My first interview.
I remember my first interview. I bought my first suit from Krug's just for the occasion.
So did I.
Son, did you know that Krug's has been around for 3 generations of satisfied customers?
Well, Krug's is different now, Dad. They have an all-new look.
Well, that's right, but some things Krug's will never change.
So, Dad, how do I look?
Fine. You know, son, if you dress like a winner, you'll feel like a winner, with a little help from Krug's.
The Yankees open their homestand with a victory over the Red Sox, a come-from-behind win for the Yankees, 6-5 over Boston. And on the Jeep Eagle game summary for the Yankees, 6-7-2 with only 2 men left. For the Red Sox, 5-8-0. They strand 6. Guterman picks up his first win, his only decision of the year. Reardon, the losing pitcher. Quintana hit a home run. Barfield and Hall each hit 2 home runs for the Yankees. And here's the game winner, the home run in the bottom of the 9th with Mullins and Moss aboard. Hall connected for the 7th time this year to give the Yankees this 6-5 victory.
Dwayne, when this day started, the Tigers with 50 home runs led the American League in home runs. With the Yankees 4 home runs today, Hall with 2 and Barfield with 2, the Yankees now have 42 home runs on the season, and they are 2nd in the league, tied for 2nd in the league behind the Detroit Tigers, depending on what happens today. Are the Bronx Bombers back?
Oh, I'll tell you, they were today. There's no question about that. You fall behind 5-0 to this club, It's a tough assignment, and the Yankees pulled it out with the long ball this afternoon.
Bullpen helped, too.
They have won 5 in a row and defeat the Red Sox this afternoon 6-5. Stay with us for the post-game report coming up next with Al Troutwig. Our next game Wednesday when the Yankees meet the Red Sox, starting with Yankee Scorecard at 7 p.m. For Tony Kubek, Dwayne Stats, so long from the stadium. New York Yankees baseball has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just alike. By New York Telephone. We're all connected. New York Telephone. And by the New York Times. Read Michael Martinez on the Yankees, only in the New York Times.
Jerry Cosby and Madison